All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. The speakers up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Shalom, Mother Sharon. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise the Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Shalom, Brother Marvin, man. Shalom, Mama Steph. No doubt. I already know, because Buddy would definitely give me a headache. Shalom, Eric, man. 1 John 5 and 17.
All unrighteousness is sin, and there is a sin not unto death. We know that whosoever is born of Alahym sin not, but he that is begotten of Alahym keep himself, and that wicked one touch him not.
That's right.
We know that we are of Alahym, and the whole world lie in wickedness. And we know that the Son of Alahym has come, and have given us an understanding.
He's given us a what?
An understanding, that we may know him that is true.
That we in him.
That is true.
Shalom, Brother Rob.
Even in his Son, Yahushua HaMashiach.
This
is the true Alahym and eternal life.
Go on, give me John 17 and 1. Shalom, 10K.
These words spake Yahushua and lifted up his eyes to Shamayim and said, Abba, the hour is come. Esteem your
Shalom,
son,
Brother Ernest.
that your son also may esteem you. As you have given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as you have given him. And this is life eternal, that they might know you, the only true Alahym.
The only true what?
Alahym.
The only true what?
Alahym.
Okay.
And Yahushua HaMashiach, whom you have sent.
Come on. Exodus 21. Lee says, have we talked about Elijah ascending into heaven? We have. Meaning, is he still there with Yahuah? And we have. It's been a long time. We can do it today, though. Joanne, sit down somewhere. Thank you. Yeah, we can do it today, though. Come on, Exodus 20 and 1.
And Alahym spake all these words, saying, I, Yahuah your Alahym, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me.
That's right.
You should not make unto you any graven image.
You shouldn't make it. Hold on, pause. You shouldn't make it to you what?
Any graven image.
Don't tell them what a graven image is, man, just in case they were not aware.
That's pasel, an idol, an image.
A carved image. The reason why because we have some information we're going to look at this afternoon as it pertains to that more specifically. Continue, good sir.
Or any likeness that is in Shamayim above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You should not bow down yourself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuah your Alahym, a jealous Alahym, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth of them that hate me.
Very well, sir. Jeremiah 10 and 10. Not 10 and 10, 10 and 1, I'm sorry.
Hear you the word which Yahuah speak unto you, O house of Yasharal.
Say, thus saith Yahuah.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of the what?
Of the heathen. And be not dismayed at the signs of Shamayim, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people vain.
Customs of the people are what?
Vain.
Don't tell them what a custom is, just in case they don't know. I know y'all know. It's for informational purpose.
That's kukah, a statute, ordinance, a limit, and enactment, something prescribed.
The things that the people have prescribed are vain. Shalom, Amun.
For one cut a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
I don't mean Elohim. I mean exactly what I got on it. No, we're not Islamic. Continue.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
They deck it with what?
Silver and gold.
Deck it with what?
Silver and gold.
Deck it with what?
Silver and gold.
Go ahead.
And they fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
That it move not.
They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not.
See, look what they decking that they using hammer. When anybody ever took a hammer and put it on a Christmas tree? They never did that. They're talking about what we read in Isaiah 44 and 45. This is a carved image that has gold and silver on it. Or like what we've seen in Deuteronomy 7 when he say, do not desire the silver and gold on it. It's a cursed thing. Peace, East, man. Come on, read me that 7:25. Hey, I really can't deal with what you asking because you're going to distract me from the task at hand. We're not here to discuss spelling the words, man, or pronunciations of things of that nature. It's a very minute matter for what we actually here for. Come on, Deuteronomy 7:25. I understand why you asking. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be rude, but it's going to distract me. And that's not of more importance. It's actual people here, and they don't care about that. They don't want to have a drawn out conversation when it pertains to that. That's not what they want to use their Sabbath for. Respect it. Deuteronomy 7:25.
The graven images of their gods shall you burn with fire. You shall not desire the silver or gold on them, nor take unto you, lest you be snared therein. For it is an abomination to Yahuah your Alahym.
It's a what?
An abomination to Yahuah your Alahym. Neither shall you bring an abomination into your house.
Why?
Lest you be a cursed thing like it.
Come on.
You shall utterly detest it, and you shall utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing.
Tell them what a cursed thing is again. So this ain't no Christmas tree. Ain't nobody got no hammer and put no silver and gold on no tree. This is talking about a carved image.
That's karim, a thing devoted, a thing dedicated, banned, devotion, a thing perforated, having been utterly destroyed, utter destruction.
This is something that's been dedicated for worship. That's why it's cursed. Let me give you what I got on carved image real quick. Yeah, I mean, that dude who was asking that question, he Jewish. He been in another room. He disrespected Mama Steph one day. I don't really fool with dude, but then he on some other stuff, and I ain't really got time for what he talking about. I was trying to maintain some level of professionalism with him because I ain't really want to deal with it. A cult image. In the practice of religion, a cult image is a human-made object that is venerated or worshipped for the deity, spirit, or daimon. If you don't know what a daimon is, that is the ancient Greek word to say demon, but it means God, godlike, or power, originally referred to a lesser deity or a guiding spirit, such as the daimons of ancient Greek religion and mythology. Later, the daimons of the Hellenistic religion and philosophy. The word is derived from the Proto-Indo-European daimon, provider, divider of fortune or destinies, from the root da, to divide. Daimons were possibly seen as the souls of men of the golden age or tutelary deities or the forces of fate. See also daimonic, a religious, philosophical, literary, and psychological concept. And again, the idea of daimonic typically means quite a few things, from befitting a demon and fiendish to being motivated by a spiritual force or genius and inspired. As a psychological term, it comes to represent an elemental force which contains irrepressible drive towards individuation. As a literary term, it can also mean the dynamic unrest that exists in us all, that forces us into the unknown, leading to self-destruction and or self-discovery. So why is that important? The idea of what we discuss, what a demon is, it's not necessarily what the ancient antiquity discussed what a demon was. Of course, most of us think of demons as being these ghoulish-looking creatures and things of this nature, when they saw demons to be gods or to be representative of the gods of the society that they were in. And then they made carved images and decked them with silver and gold and worshiped them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's that time of year, and Jeremiah 10 is used, quite frankly, regularly around this time of year to say this is a Christmas tree. But again, historically, Christmas did not exist at the time that Jeremiah spoke that. There was no Mithras cult. There was no Saturnalia cult. That did not exist. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason to Shalom, Tavon, man. And the only reason why, peace, Brother Omar, why I'm focusing in on that is because we're talking about idols, for you to understand culturally and historically and societally, depending on which civilization you're referring to know exactly what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? And then you would be able to identify what deity he was actually referring to. Is this to say that it's to defend Christmas or anything of the sort? No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Because I genuinely don't care. Like, I genuinely don't care if people celebrate Christmas or not. At this point of the game of most of y'all being in the word, you should already know that most people, peace, Mika, they're not celebrating Christmas out of some type of religious obligation. They're celebrating Christmas because this is the custom that they have experienced from the day that they were born. They don't know anything else. They ain't ever seen anything else. This is what everybody in their family does. This is what everybody that they know does. It's a prevailing custom in the land that they live in. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? It's really just that simple. Like dudes, when people say Merry Christmas to me, for what? Them people don't know you don't celebrate Christmas, man. It's just an assumption that if you live in the United States of America, that's what you do. Why? Because everybody does it. People don't even think about it. It's not even, people saying Merry Christmas is as commonplace as somebody just saying, how you doing? During this time of year, that's it. They don't mean nothing by it. They're not trying to have a detailed conversation with you about it. They're trying not to be rude. And then you got some people, they love this time of year. They be like, it's cold outside. You know what I'm talking about? Depending on where they live at, it's snowing. You got a whole bunch of white people singing poorly. You taking your kids to sit on some fat stranger's lap. You don't even know this man. You letting him sit, your kids sit on his loins. You know what I'm talking about? And the best thing of all is that you get to spend money and get stuff from people because you exist. You know, when you look at that from a carnal perspective, what's not to like? Then, of course, with most people, in all jokes aside, like I told you, I got a home. Put it down, put it down, put it down. And you know better. So do better. Are we clear now? Very well. Like I got a homegirl, like for her Christmas, Thanksgiving, and all that stuff, she got childhood memories attached to that. So as an adult, it means a whole lot more to her. And of course, she gonna want her children to have that same type of experience. That's not something that she gonna let go. Some of you niggas look at she cheese and think about Thanksgiving memories right now. I remember that time Uncle Jesse fell in the pot. All that type of stuff. Because for women, that's what you like. It's an excuse for your family to get together. That's why it's hard for y'all to walk away. Most men don't walk away because they don't want that woman to be upset. It's easy for men to stop doing that type of stuff. They don't care. I ain't want to come around here anyway. I ain't want to buy you niggas no gifts anyway. Every year, I got to buy this nigga gift, this nigga gift. I don't want to spend all that money. I ain't got to buy nobody nothing. I've been stopped celebrating that time. I stopped celebrating before I was in the word. I stopped fooling with Christmas. Shoot. 1999, 2000. Boy, I was good. Y'all were good. I ain't care about none of that. Nigga be in jail. We in prison. They tell my man, I wish I was home for Christmas, but I'm locked up. And I'm like, but you were locked up the day before though. And you're going to be locked up the day after. So, nigga, bump Christmas. I just want to be free. Nigga, I don't give a damn what day it is. Yeah, you focusing on one day. Because you upset you ain't home with your people. Nigga, we was here yesterday. Like, straight up. Ain't none of us EOS yesterday. And we gonna be here tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about? Man, you sound crazy. Now, I know what they mean, though. That junk, nigga be wanting to be with their people. They go to think about at grandma's house and this, that, that. That's all. You want to be at your people's house, eating food, ducking off, smoking marijuana, and getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? Arguing with your people, watching the game. That's it. That's all that stuff being to people, man. There's very few people who really like, it's big baby Jesus' birthday. Jesus is the reason for the season. That's very few people. Most of these niggas evil as hell. Only go to church for Christmas. That was you right there, huh? You was at white service. Yo, they don't do that up there. Y'all don't do no white service up there. Y'all heathens.
Church get the best gifts.
Y'all some heathens.
Church get the best gifts.
Church get the best gifts. Hold on. Mama Steph just dropped something on us here. Let me read this to y'all. Demonology. This one here, right? The origin and nature of demons. There are three powers that work in the earth today: God's power, man's power, demon power. Most people, include Christians, are only familiar with human power. We must understand all three. Demons go by several different names in the Bible: devils, unclean spirits, evil spirits. All these terms refer to the same thing. We would use the term devils, demons, and the devil interchangeably. Definition: a demon is a disembodied spirit of malevolent evil power and assignment seeking to hinder God's plan and destroy man's life. They work to make God look like a liar. There are countless demons, and they know that their time is short. Their captain is Satan, formerly known as Lucifer. Now, of course, we know that there is some scriptural fallacies That is the first one she put on there, the demonology course. We know that there is some scriptural fallacies there. Number one, Satan's name was never Lucifer. You know what I'm saying? Truth be told, it does not tell you what Satan's name was. Because Satan is not a name, it is a title. The devil is not a name, it is the title. You know what I'm talking about? Satan in itself means adversary. You can actually read with the donkey that spoke to Balaam. It literally says that angel was an adversary, and that word used there is Satan. You know what I'm talking about? But then you have Hashatan, or the adversary, and that would be the character that we read about last night that gave the beast his great power. You know what I'm talking about? And then, of course, devil means whisperer, slanderer, things of that sort. You know what I'm saying? But his actual name, the text don't tell you what his actual name is. You know what I'm talking about? And even with Lucifer, Lucifer means Hiel, and Satan is not a morning star. Because you know why we know this? Job 38:7.
When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of Alahym shouted for joy.
When the who sang together?
The morning stars.
Now pause and give him verse 5 for context. What we talking about?
Who have laid the measures thereof, if you know, or who have stretched the line upon it.
Go ahead.
Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened, or who laid the cornerstone thereof?
Who did what?
Laid the cornerstone.
So what is he
thereof.
talking about here? He talking about creation. Listen to what he say.
When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of Alahym shouted for joy.
When the sons of Alahym did what?
Shouted for joy.
So these are morning stars. Let's take it a step further. Revelation 2:26. Now you're being ruthy instead of being rude. Excuse me.
And he that overcome and keep my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations. He shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken.
Now y'all know that this is Psalms 1 that he referring to. He said the same thing his father promised him, he gonna give to you. Read it again.
Saying, he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received the Ma'abah.
Even as I received.
And I will give him the morning star.
And I will give him what?
The morning star.
So you mean to tell me when you overcome the world and overcome sin and death, he gonna give you the devil? Why would he do that? 2 Peter 1:19.
We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that you take heed, as unto a light that shine in a dark place until the day dawn and the day star arise in your heart.
So you mean to tell me when you overcome that the Satan going to arise in your heart? What's wrong with you, little Bible study? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Continue. Read verse 19 again.
So we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that you take heed.
Shalom, Quran, you Hebrew.
As unto a light that shine in a dark place until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts.
Go ahead.
Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scriptures of any private interpretation. For the prophecy came not into old time by the will of man, but Kadashman of Alahym spake.
As they were moved
by the Ruach HaKadosh.
Now, the only reason why we're referencing this here, right? And we've talked about this on here plenty of times. The thought process that Satan is Lucifer comes from John Milton's book, Paradise Lost. That's where it comes from. It's a book about the devil. He is the one who introduced that particular theory to mankind. The Catholic Church took it and ran off tackle with it and dispensed it in the earth. And many of us picked that up and espoused it with no thoughts or regards of where that information came from. You know what I'm talking about? Nobody thought about it. Nobody was concerned about it. And that was that. But I'm mentioning this here because, again, we're dealing with the contrast that Yahuah is the living Alahym and that idols are dead. So what we're really dealing with is the contrast between life and death and blessed and cursed and good and evil. So when you look at a day star, because Aaron's name means morning star also. You know what I'm saying? We also know that. Or light bearer, more specifically. You know what I'm talking about? That which brings light makes manifest. Satan can't bring light. How do we know this? John 8:44, 1 John chapter 1 and verse 3. This is how we know this.
So you are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth.
He abode not in the what?
Not in the truth.
He abode not in the what?
In the truth.
And what does Isaiah 8:20 that every Israelite like to tell you? What did it say? To the law and to the testimony. If they don't speak according to what? This word, there's no what? Light in them. So if there's no truth, and then the book says that the law is what? Light. And the reproofs of instruction are the way of life. He just said, ain't no truth in this man. So if there ain't no truth in this man, ain't no light in this man. And if ain't no light in this man, then he can't be the morning star. Now you just heard in Job 38 that the sons of God were called morning stars. And they shouted for joy when the worlds were made. Now we're going to read something in Hebrews about that in a moment. Continue. He said also, like he said in Luke 11, he wouldn't give you a scorpion, so he wouldn't give you Satan. He would not. He would not. That is a true story. Why would Yahuah give you bad things if you ask for good? That makes as much sense as tits on a bull, now don't it? You ever seen tits on a bull? Because I ain't never seen tits on a bull. Also, I ain't never been looking for tits on a bull, so there's that. So let's continue. John 8:44.
So you are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speak a lie, he speak of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it.
He's a liar and the father
of it.
Now, when we go to 1 John 1:3, listen to what that says. Hey, boy, sit down on the floor, or I can sit you down.
That which we have seen and heard declare we unto you, that you also may fellowship with us. And truly your fellowship with the Abba and with his son, Yahuah HaMashiach. These things write we unto you, that your joy may be full. This is a message which we have heard of him, and declare unto you that Alahym is light.
Alahym is what?
Is light.
Is what?
Is light.
And no part.
Darkness at
now,
all.
what do they call Satan? What is he called? What is one of the names that he is referred to? Y'all not here, huh?
What are you talking about, light bearer? What they just
He's called the Prince of Darkness.
Prince of the air.
Yeah, one of the things which is something that vampires, more specifically Dracula, co-opted that name as being called the Prince of Darkness. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the historical Dracula. I think we talked about the historical Dracula before. It was a real person. You know what I'm saying? Who lived in Transylvania, to be specific, in Romania. You know what I'm saying? He was a real person. He liked to drink blood. He wasn't an undead individual, but he was a real person. You know what I'm saying? He was a murderer. That's right, Vlad the Impaler. That is his name. You can look him up on your own time. I don't know if he was black or not, but he's a sick bastard nonetheless. Yeah, that's who the character Dracula is formulated after. Now, werewolves are formulated after a different character in mythology. The name of it escapes me at this present time. Dang, what's that junk called, man? Man, what's the other name for werewolf, man? Somebody might know it. It'll trigger my memory. It's another name. Mama Steph, you know the other name for werewolf? That's it. See, Eric it was in my mind, a lichen. And that comes from, thank you, Brother Marvel. Thank you, Eric, man. Yeah, a lichen. And that comes from a certain mythological stories about men turning into dog-like beasts and devouring people. I appreciate that, gentlemen. I seen Mama Steph drop that too, because it was in my mind, but it wasn't coming to my mind. You say you felt like my life was a lie learning that. We've been lied to and hoodwinked. No, I'm going to be honest with you, right? Zoe say you can catch some of these stories on the History Channel, by the way. Some things you can say is a lie, but I'm going to just be honest with you. Some things, man, like believing Lucifer is a devil, I wouldn't even necessarily say that's a lie. One person told, people just took that as that, because most of us, you're not studious when it came to the word like that. If your people weren't studious like that, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be on that type of time, or let me cross-reference cultural sources and historical sources, and let me verify if the scriptures say this and this, that, there, and the third. at 8 years old and somebody told you Lucifer was a devil and everybody telling you that, you just going, well, shoot, that's just what it is. Yeah. Say you didn't know where that came from, but I always wondered why the movie's called. Yeah, that's a let me pull that up. It was in my mind, and thankfully 10K Mama Steph and Eric brought it. I thought it was Lycan, but I wasn't sure. I appreciate y'all helping me out on that. Yeah, Lycan is a shape-shifting character who can transform into a wolf to attack enemies or escape ambushes. Lycans can also summon wolves to buff their health and attack damage. We got Lycan Underworld. Here we go. It's an abbreviation for lycanthrope or a werewolf. Lycanthrope is ancient Greek. It's an individual who can shapeshift into a wolf, or especially in modern film, a theranthropic hybrid wolf-like creature, either purposely or after being placed under a curse of affliction, often a bite or the occasional scratch from another werewolf, with the transformations occurring on the night of a full moon. Early sources for belief in this ability or affliction called lycanthropy are Petronius, 27 to 66 AD, and Gervase of Tilbury, 1150 to 1228 AD. Of course, his similar entity is a skinwalker. The werewolf is a widespread concept in European folklore, existing in many variants, which are related by common development of a Christian interpretation of underlying European folklore developed during the medieval period. From the early modern period, werewolf belief spread to the New World with colonialism. Belief in werewolves developed in a parallel to belief in witches during the late Middle Ages and the early modern period. Like the witchcraft trials as a whole, the trial of supposed werewolves emerged in what is now Switzerland, especially Vallis and Vaud in the early 15th century, and spread throughout Europe in the 16th and peaking in the 17th and subsiding by the 18th. I know most of y'all are probably familiar with the Salem witch trials and things of that sort. Some of y'all probably seen the movie, what the Red Letter or Scarlet, whatever they call it. You know, the Salem witch trials is probably the ones that y'all are probably more familiar with. Up there around Civicton Way in Massachusetts, where they were taking the white women and burning them on trees because they saying that they were witches. See, and you know where they got that from? Because your law says suffer not a witch to live. So they believed if a woman was a witch, that she was supposed to be killed on spot. Truth be told, they probably were witches, because we talked about this the other day. Witchcraft is definitely not what you think it is. I can tell you that. You know, it's not some woman sitting around a pot boiling some stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of witches out here right now. You know what I'm saying? But that's another conversation for another day. Wasn't the Blair? I believe so. Misha just said the same thing. I never watched the Blair Witch Project. Was it off the Salem witch trials? I don't know. I just watched it last week. No, I never watched Blair Witch Project, so I'm not sure. Come on, Sid. I don't want to get too far off. Let me get the main point scripturally what I want. I come back to them demons.
I'd say this is 1 John 1:5.
Eric said the OG wanted the one from the 2000s. Shoot, either or, my G. I am not hip.
Say this then is the message we have heard of him and declare unto you that Alahym is light and in him is no darkness at all.
There's no darkness in him at all.
We say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness.
We do what? We do
not the truth.
Oh, Brother Marvin say Blair Witch is made up.
Okay, but if we walk in the light as he is the light, we have fellowship one with another.
If we walk in the light as he is the light, let me give you one more point, right? It's in Ephesians what? Is that Ephesians? Yeah, Ephesians 5, man. Give me verse 7. Tell me what that say. After that, Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 5. One thing I can tell you, man, is, and I know this is easier said than done. Oh, this nigga here gay. I just realized she got a sweatshirt that say wifey on it. Okay. I just wanted you to know that. You're gay. Not gay as in homosexual, but gay as in lame. Obviously, you have no choice. I have handed it to you, and now it belongs to you. You like Rome. You know that song? So you don't know that song, I Belong to You? You the whole time the nigga was singing about another nigga's woman. I said, damn. You know what song I'm talking about? I ain't know till the other day somebody posted it talking about this nigga was singing about. Then you talking about that nigga say, "Save my lady, you are so fine." That nigga say, "I wake up in the morning, she wasn't there." He seen her face. He don't see her often because that's another man's woman. I say, damn it, man. No, I hadn't heard that song in so long until I seen somebody post about this nigga was singing about being a side dude. You know how lame of a nigga you got to be singing about being a side dude? You know what I'm talking about? Man, I'm telling you, man, all jokes aside, boy, if Pac ain't never said nothing that was pertinent, he did say, like, hey, man, you need to listen to the lyrics and not just be bobbing your head to this junk. Is this real to you? Like, you got to really listen to these niggas. He was talking about rappers, though. But, like, because them niggas can sing, man, and that junk, the melody be good, you really don't be paying attention to what these people be saying. These niggas was some degenerates. Avant was a big degenerate. I'm talking about when you listen to what this nigga's a degenerate. Yeah, I'm talking about that. You know what I'm saying? I knew that then though was stupid. It was some of them songs. Oh yeah, all them in the closet. But see, we knew Kelly. We knew R. Kelly was a degenerate. So he was a degenerate. We just accepted. You know what I'm talking about? He's a perv. We all know it. You know what I'm saying? He trapped all in the closet. Why you always in the closet? That means you weren't supposed to be to that lady house. The man did a whole video series with Ron Isley cheating. This man was in 2 different songs. That nigga, you know what I'm saying? That man say, man, what you doing in my home? And he say, Mr. Biggs. He say, somewhere I know you from. He say, I know you from somewhere. That man said that was the funny part. He said, boy, don't you know? I said, I know you from somewhere, some long ago. How you beat somebody? How many people have you beaten? But you know how many people you got to beat to not remember someone you had physically accosted? You threw the man in the desert. You know what I'm talking about? He talking about, don't I know you somewhere? Yeah, nigga, you tried to kill me. Woo. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I heard that in the closet was 12 parts. I've only seen pieces of the video in reels. R. Kelly was a comedian in some of that stuff. That nigga was funny. I don't know what was more funny. Him wearing them little behind tank tops with them braids in his head with no facial hair. Or the video. But come on, man. What is it? Hebrew 1?
Said Ephesians 5 and 7.
Ephesians 5 and 7. Tell me what I said.
Say, be not you therefore partakers with them, for you were sometimes darkness, but now are light, and the Lord walk as children of light.
Come on.
For the fruit of the Ruach and all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. No fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. What else? But rather reprove.
Because why?
For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret.
Why?
But all things that are reproved are made manifest by
all
the light.
Things that are approved are made manifest.
For whatsoever manifest is light.
I got them right here, Mama Steph. Hold on. Mama Steph just sent this book. I put it in the group chat. It's called The Origin of Satan by Alahym Pagels. And we got something else, Satan and Lucifer, a comparison. We'll look at that in a moment also. Come over here to give me 2 Corinthians, what that is, 11 and 4, because this is what some people are saying, say he is Lucifer. But I was looking at this last week. I meant to work it in, and we didn't get there. It came to my mind while I was talking, but I forgot. Go ahead. I think I got you too long. Tell me verse 11. 2 Corinthians 11 and 11.
Say, wherefore, because I love you not, Alahym no, but what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them which desire occasion, that wherein they esteem they may be found even as we. For such false apostles.
Such false what?
Apostles.
Such false what?
Apostles.
Tell them what a false apostle is. We already talked what an apostle is. That's a messenger. That's an emissary. You know what I'm saying? An ambassador. But a false apostle is what?
A pseudo-apostolos, that is a false apostle, one who falsely claims to be an ambassador of Hamashiach, a false teacher, a pretended pratcher.
A pretended who?
Pratcher.
So this is somebody, they're not an ambassador. They have not been sent to represent. Remember, anybody who's sent to represent this man has the testimony of Mashiach, because the testimony of Yahushua is the Ruach of prophecy. They can't say they're an apostle and an ambassador and don't have the testimony. I ain't talking about you saying, I believe in Jesus Christ, Yahushua, Yeshua, Yahushua, whichever word you want to use. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, boy, how beautiful are the feet of them upon the mountains that publish good tidings, that publish the Zion, your Alahym reign, that publish peace, that publish salvation. They would have this man in the volume of the book if they are an ambassador. That is what he gave his. How can you be an ambassador of a man without the information of the ambassador? That's impossible. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if people are familiar with what an ambassador does on a political level. You know what I'm saying? Or even on a business level. But an ambassador on a political and business level represents the head of the state and or company of whence sent them on this mission. They bring forth the exact words, goals, and directives of the individual who sent them. And they represent that person on their behalf to fulfill their will. This is literally what there are literal ambassadors in every country across the world, and they send them to other countries to represent the interest of the person who sent them. That's why the Lord told you in John chapter 7, he said, man, just going to get it for him. John 7 and 17. I'm about to say it wrong. And then we come right back to 2 Corinthians.
If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of Alahym or I speak of myself.
What else?
He that speak of himself seek his own esteem.
See, if you do that, you ain't an ambassador.
But he that seek his esteem that sent me, the same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him.
That's how you know if he's an ambassador or not. He gonna seek the esteem of the person who sent him. Because all he's going to do is bring the information about the person who sent him. Why? Because it goes back to, I'm an unprofitable servant doing what it is my duty to do. What does unprofitable mean? You are in debt. You work for this person. Come on back to 2 Corinthians 11. I know that's hard for people to understand because most people are selfish, indignant, among other things. Go ahead. 2 Corinthians 11 and what? 14? You can read 13 again. Or whatever verse it was where it says 13.
Say, for such false apostles, deceitful workers.
Deceitful what?
Deceitful workers.
Transforming
themselves into the apostles of Mashiach.
So they're going to make themselves look like they're apostles. They are not ambassadors for the Lord. Listen what he tells you.
And no marvel, for Hashatan
Don't be amazed.
Is transformed into a Malachim of light.
Don't marvel that he turns himself into a messenger of light. If he's transforming himself into a messenger of light, guess what that means? He's not. He's not light. Because that which is light doesn't have to transform to masquerade to appear to be something that they are not. Tell them what transform means, man. You know it. There's plenty of transformers out here. That ain't no man. Hey, Mama Steph, you know I seen Cap posted last night. They said they actually did some type of DNA testing on that lady boy, and they found out what everybody already knew, that was a woman. They did all that grandstanding and all that stuff with that lady boy, when really she was a boy lady. Oh, you looking crazy. Oh, yeah, they had some Israelite, man. I don't know the organization there was a young woman whose father's in the word, who decided that she wanted to be a carpet muncher for whatever reason. You know what I'm talking about? I think more than anything, just like you have young people in the Christian church, if they people raised in the word, that some of them rebel. Yes, not a hermaphrodite, but actual woman. Genetically, they found her to have only female chromosomes. Yes, she was, is, and will be to come. She started out as a young woman, and actually becoming a stud made her look very terrible because she seemed to be, a cute young lady. You know what I'm saying? Now, from her own admission, she deviated from the word for a while and decided to take her dalliances at eating hamburgers, if you would. I'm trying not to be too vulgar. So she decided that she wanted to come back in the word as a man by the name of Benjamin Levi or something of that sort, and went to hanging with the fellas and dropping word on people and rebuking women with harsh and furious rebukes all across the internet. This woman goes out on tabernacles with these dudes. They show pictures of them with this woman. How these men did not know this was a woman is beyond me. Because that nigga had titties. And not fat nigga titties either. Like C-cup titties. You know what I'm saying? It's like straight up and down. Straight up and down. Not being funny. Like, yeah, man, these boys did a whole inquisition and all this here. I'm like, what's wrong with y'all dudes? Y'all couldn't look at this and tell this was a woman. These boys went so far to say that they had looked at her privy member. Allegedly, this person pulled out their privy member through the hole of their undergarments. And one of these men said, I couldn't tell if it was a prosthetic privy member or a real one. And I'm like, why are you grown men asking to see the privy member of anyone? Because, boy, if I got to ask to see your privy member, cuz I don't even want to see it. I can't even see myself. So, yeah, Cup, I need to see that. Hey, no, I'm good. I don't want to know that bad. Let the Lord sort that out. No jokes. I ain't even being funny. Let the Lord sort that out. I don't want to know that bad. I don't. I really don't. That's not even being funny. I can understand why some people would want to know. I know some people really feel from a biblical standpoint that that's what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just going to sit here and ridicule people who went through that. You know, I got jokes. Don't get me wrong. I got plenty of them. You know what I'm saying? But in the reality of the situation, I know some dudes probably earnestly felt like this is what they were supposed to do to justify this as a man or woman or not. Me personally, I don't want to see your loins to figure that out. I'm going to just make it now, cuz you can call me improper judgment. You call me whatever you want. But, boy, I'm not asking no grown man to pull his boxers down and show me nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Just not. I'm just not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to be mad at a brother if he do it, but I'm going to crack jokes on him when he come back. You got to know that. Well, you know, that's a good question, Emma. If she knew that, why did they undergo testing? The best thing I could come up with that, Emma, is the same way that them women go on Maury Povich and divorce, paternity court on TV, knowing full well that that's not that man's baby. You know what I'm saying? Some people will go all the way out with the lie until they have no other choice but to be exposed for the fact that they lying. You know, one thing that I can say, Emma, that I learned in this life, it is hard to understand the thoughts of a liar because liars are not rational thinkers. And if you're not a liar, it'll be hard for you to understand why the fact that you will go all the way out this far with that lie. You know what I'm saying? But hey, Satan do it every day, so you got that. I don't know, nigga. I don't know. But yeah. Definitely came up that that's a lady. But I didn't think that was hard to tell. This nigga had hips. You know what I'm saying? And in the congregation married to a woman. Yeah, I'm talking about pictures of them at feast days. How these people didn't know these were two lesbians is beyond me. And that's why when they say they got infiltrated, they didn't get infiltrated. Man, people be knowing stuff be going on. And they just be turning their head or they don't want to believe that they're looking at what they're looking at. How many of y'all, everybody hears stories about pastors having sex with all the women in the church. People know it's going on, but they just turn their head or they don't want to believe that what is really happening is really happening. The same way that people know that there's pastors or, Catholic priests touching on kids. They know it's happening. You remember Gil Yard down here, don't you? You don't think the people didn't know Gil Yard around there touching on them young girls, man? And then when he got booted from that church, another church hired him here in the city, and he did it again. I don't know what they're gonna do, Emma. I can't speak on it because I ain't even really followed. You know, we just happened to see that one day when they made that room, and that was the end of it for me. And then I happened to see Cap post that last night. I meant to mention it to you last night, but it wasn't relevant. Then it just came to my mind because it really wasn't that important. Because, you know, that's an embarrassing situation for her, especially for her daddy. You know what I'm saying? And all the way around the board. And it's embarrassing for the men in the congregation that she was fellowshipping in that thought that was a dude. You know what I'm saying? It's all the way around the board. You know what I say? I got jokes because I just have jokes. You know what I'm saying? But you strip away the comedy from the play and just, you know, look at it from a human aspect. Salute, Dave. And just look at how that went down. You know, that's an ugly situation. And let me not forget about what Lee asked about with Elijah. It's an ugly situation. No, I just got jokes because I just like to crack jokes. But take the jokes away, like, ain't nothing really funny about that situation. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that are going to have some lingering issues as it pertains to that. Because there's going to be some brothers in the word who are going to be looked at funny for the fact that they were fellowshipping with a woman who was masquerading as a man. They're going to have to deal with the fallout that come from that. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely going to have some women who may be treated much more harshly than probably needed to be. You're probably going to have some men that dudes might think are somewhat feminine, masculine, because it's going to be some idiot who's always going to do something and take it to the max when it's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's not necessarily going to be rampant, but yeah, it's going to be some people who are going to have to suffer unfairly because of the bad moves of others. Come on, read that verse 14 for me. Yeah, I seen that too, Amuna. Absolutely.
It's saying no marvel for
Hashatan
himself is transformed into a Alahym of light.
Mm-hmm.
Transform is metaschematizo, that is to change the figure of, to transform, to disguise.
To disguise. As Amuna put there, a fake version of the light. He's disguised. That's not who he is. Go ahead.
Say, therefore, no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness.
So you shouldn't be shocked if his ministers make themselves look like they serve that which is the God.
Whose end shall be according to their works.
But their end is going to be according to how they live it. And that's what you got to understand. Let me tell y'all something, man. It's a harsh reality. You will never get false prophets out of the earth. You'll never get, it's too many of them. You can never stop them. It's not your job to stop them. It's your job to show a contrast. If Yahuah send you to stop somebody, he's going to send you to them directly. You'll never stop false teachers. You'll never stop false prophets. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your energy. You're frustrating yourself. All that time you worry about stopping the false prophet could have been focused on saving a soul. Could have been strengthening a brother. Could have been helping a sister. You know what I'm talking about? That's what you could have been doing, but you focus your energy on trying to prove somebody being a false prophet. Yahuah never sent nobody to do that. If he want a false prophet to get checked, he'll send somebody to check that false prophet to his face. He told you that in Ezekiel 13. You ain't got to go around here cutting up every false doctrine. That's not your job. Ain't no need for all that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know everybody like a good sparring match every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about in general to maintain your sanity. Hebrews 1:5. Because if you go around here trying to cut up everybody's doctrine, man, you're going to drive yourself crazy. These niggas will drive you crazy. You're going to end up on the wrong side of the ledger. Because I'm going to tell you something. A lying nigga don't care about going out here lying. And he don't care that don't bother him. He sleep good every night. Only person gonna be frustrated is you. That's something I learned long before I got into work. You know what I'm saying? My big cousin taught me that a long time ago, and I learned it by experience too. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, boy, somebody who, let me not even say a lie. Somebody who's just wrong, and you showing them they wrong, but they want to be wrong, man, that junk gonna frustrate you, man. That junk ain't gonna frustrate them. Look at him, boy. That boy coming in here looking like he work at the call center.
Somebody like
to do it last night, man. Had the French radio going.
That didn't work for me. That didn't work for me. You look like you work at Convergence.
That is true. I wasn't
You know what I'm talking about?
That's where it all started.
That's where it all started at. Working at Convert.
So I look like you made employee of the month. I met my wife at.
That's where I met my wife at Convert.
Damn, she called her answer.
That was
My God. Oh, Lord, that was Hebrews 1:5. Don't come over here with that nonsense. Come over here to be quiet, or don't come at all,
Say,
baby.
for unto which of the Malachim said at any time, you are my son.
Which of the Malachim did he ever say was his son at any time? Not now.
This day have I begotten you. And again, I will be to him an Abba, he shall be to me a son.
Listen.
And again, when he bring in the first begotten into the world, he said, let all the Malachim of Alahym worship him.
Let all the Malachim of Alahym do what?
Worship him.
Let all the Malachim of Alahym do what?
Worship him.
That's what the Morning Star said when they shouted for joy, didn't it? Go ahead.
And of the Malachims he saved, who make his Malachims ruachs and his ministers a flame of fire.
Ministers of what?
A flame of fire.
And you know that his ministers, his ruachs are the servants to the heirs of salvation. Satan don't serve nobody who finna inherit salvation. Now that's one element in that demonology part that's accurate. Hold on. Eric asked this question. If someone approaches you on a debate stuff, aside from just ignoring them altogether, how do you keep it humble without falling into arguments and debates? That is a good question. And here's the answer to that question. Number one, if you already know you right, then don't even go into it with arguing or debating. I'm finna teach you something, and once I teach you this, I'm done. Now, we can have a conversation, but I'm done. The number one way that you don't want to lose your cool in an argument or debate is, number one, you need to know who you're talking to. And then number two, you need to know if you know your course material. If you know you right, then you shouldn't be able to get frustrated because you already know you right when you started. Now, some people will frustrate you because their level of stupidity, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother deal. And they'll just keep going and going and going and going. And that's when you have to learn to just go ahead and say, bro, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, Sister Kelly. Like Mama Steph don't know because she done heard me say it plenty of times. Like I tell her, dude, hey, bro, I'm good, bro. Then they'll get mad when I tell them, hey, when I say I'm good, that means don't address any comments towards me about what we were discussing. Because that's the little slick way to try to draw you back in. Like when I say, bro, I'm good, do not talk to me. Do not throw passive-aggressive comments or insinuations. Talk to somebody else about that matter. I am complete with you, sir. I no longer have a desire to continue to converse with you about this matter anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally just don't. Now, sometimes it can be hard if individuals are condescending or arrogant in their approach. That can make you want to go off. Then it's not the information. It's really because this person is a douchebag. And then, that's a whole nother matter. Mama Steph said, I see all questions withdrawn, y'all. Yeah, that's what you have to do sometimes. Sometimes you just got to be like, you know what? You got it, cuz. I don't want. And like you have to be firm on, hey, cuz, don't talk to me. Because just like them boys do. Them boys will still keep talking to you once you say you done or trying to bring up other points about what you would. Nah, cuz I'm done. Talk to somebody else about this or talk about something else. Because if you continue to talk to me, I very well may cuss you out. Because that's clearly what you want. So that's what I'm going to give you. Leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them be like, you're running. Sir, I can't run. I'm sitting in my chair right now. See, a lot of these dudes take not desiring to continue to have an idiotic conversation as running. You know what I'm saying? Nah, for my sanity, it is best. What's the word, bro? It's best that I just stop. Because you got to worry about your own sanity, your own peace, and your own mind on, let me stop talking. Peace, Brother Joseph. Let me stop talking to this nigga before I cuss him out. Just because you can cuss somebody out doesn't mean you should. All things are not expedient, man. All things are not wise, and that can overthrow the faith of someone who is weaker than you in the word just because you can go off on them. Doesn't mean you should. You can do a lot of things. Doesn't mean you should. That's why what Paul meant when he say, what? So I don't know, man. Sometimes you got to be an example instead of worrying about what you personally would like to do. That, my friends, is called spiritual maturity. That is called being an adult. Now, does that mean that you're going to do that in every situation? No, it does not. Let's not sit here and act like that's going to be 100% of the time, because sometimes you're going to give somebody that work. They deserve it, and they got it. You know what I'm talking about? And sometimes you're going to be like, you know what? You got it, cuz. I'll be whatever you want me to be. Just don't call me late for dinner. Yes, sir. But I understood him because he was insulting your intelligence, and I can understand why you would be upset about that, because that's the one thing that'll piss me off. You can say a lot of things, but you know what I'm saying? But that insulting my intelligence, since I was a young man, I take offense to that. You know what I'm saying? And I very well may go off on you about that because I find that offensive. Do not insult my intelligence. You know what I'm saying? You could call me all type of names and that won't bother me. But talking to me like I'm stupid though, like, nah, cuz, but you tried me like I was a 13-year-old girl and you was a 30-year-old man and you were trying to get me to come in the house. You thought I was stupid enough to go for that, huh? Okay. Say, right, this ain't ancient Israel. We can't, you can't execute him. Kadeem put Ecclesiasticus 28:8, abstain from strife, and you shall diminish your sins, for a furious man will kindle strife. And you know what the book tell you? You know, anger rests in the bosom of fools, and wrath work not the righteousness of Alahym. So when you see an individual dragging you down that road, you have to have a level of self-awareness for yourself, because your soul on the line. Because this person probably already don't care about their soul, but you care about yours. So you can't let somebody drag you into a place of carnality, or like Paul say, don't let your freedom, your liberty be for an occasion of the flesh, man. If you're going to walk in the spirit, then live in the spirit. You know, we got freedom in the word, but you don't take that freedom as an opportunity to indulge in carnal conversations, conducts, and behaviors. You know what I'm saying? And some people live in the flesh. So sometimes you have to separate yourself from individuals as such and just let them live in their carnality. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. And that come over time as you mature spiritually. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect nobody that, you heard some word and now you're supposed to be this mature in 6 months. It's insane. You know what I'm saying? So, for lack of a better terminology, it's a trial and error. You get in a situation, hey, I didn't necessarily execute it right. Let me review the game tape. Let me see what I could do better next time if I'm faced with that situation. And I'll come back and handle it better the next time. You're a human being. Remember we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, man, you're a human being. Just because you're in the word does not remove your humanity. It doesn't remove that you're dust and ashes. It doesn't remove that you have passions and desires like everybody else. When you sit back and think, because you're a human being, that you will not have emotional responses at times to certain things, all it's going to cause you is repress certain things, and then you're going to explode as a ball of emotionality at the wrong place and at the wrong time and probably with the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? And say, I see folks trying to, man, people, hey, man, look at, man, we've been used to say that, man, you can't let these niggas trick you off these streets, man. You boy trying to send you to the chain gang. Come on, Sylvia, what we have with?
You go to Hebrews.
Yeah, we good in Hebrews 1, man. Oh, I was reading some stuff about demonology. Let me go back to the definition. Because we got to talk about harvest festivals and Bacchus feasts and all type of old freaky deaky stuff these people be on, man. We were talking about the lichen, which was that werewolf. I can't even find it. Oh, I was talking about cult images. Cult images. That's what I was looking at. Cult images. And we still got to finish talking about Drusilla and her freaky behind. Really dealing with Drusilla is more about the gods that they worship. So again, in several traditions, including the ancient religions of Egypt, Greece, and Rome, and Hinduism, cult images in a temple may undergo a daily routine of being washed, dressed, having. Do you understand how simple you got to be leaving food for a statue that can't breathe, that can't talk? Yeah, you leaving food. Guess what? That's what they had us doing out here, leaving cookies for Santa Claus. They got you out here leaving cookies for nobody. That was literally just a practice of idolatry. Leave out cookies for Santa. Oh, who? Drusilla? Oh, I don't even think I sent them documents that Mama Steph sent. Yeah, I ain't sent them over. That was just a simple search of her name. But Drusilla is Felix's wife that's mentioned in Acts 24. The only reason why I even talked about her last night because in her name it mentioned that she was a licentious woman. And I had already been looking at civilizations that participated in licentious idolatries. So to see her being described as a licentious woman, that stood out to me. So then I wanted to be able to ascertain if she was a part of any cult, but she was not a part of any cult. She was literally an adherent to the way of Yahuah, which is why she was referred to as a Jewess. You know what I'm saying? By direction of her father, as we read last night. Agrippa was the one who mandated that his daughter be a Jew, and whoever married her would become a Jew. You know what I'm talking about? And you can read that in Esther, where it talks about the people of the lands became Jews. Let's take a look at that. Let me find that for you. Come over here to Esther, sir. See, a lot of people look at it becoming a Jew. This is not becoming a Jew naturally. This is following the customs, if you would. I think this is Esther chapter 9. Let me find what I want. Oh, I'm looking right at it like an idiot. Esther 8 and 15.
And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white,
With a great
crown of gold, and
a garment,
a fine linen and purple. And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad.
Pause. Y'all remember what this represent, right? I didn't need to make sure. What is this? What is this Esther 8 and 15? What is this fulfilling later on? Come on now, y'all moving slow. Or am I talking too fast? Or have you forgotten? Have you forgotten?
The whore Babylon got on.
Oh, no. Read it again. Ain't no whore Babylon. Talking about what is the question? Let me put you out my classroom.
It said Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel, blue and white.
Got that FAMU hat on. You knew FAMU won a national championship? You niggas ain't no FAMU nigga. She claims she knew. That nigga ain't know. They won a national championship in 1978, nigga. But y'all went to the school though. Because y'all were drinking and not going to class. Smoking marijuana and stuff. Doing nigga activities. That's what y'all were doing. Nah, it was on News for Jacks. Nigga, I didn't go to FAMU, nigga. I ain't participated in nigga activities. I participated in criminal activities. There's a difference. No.
What's nigga activity?
Nigga activities is getting drunk and getting high, chasing tail.
You want to get high?
I sold crack.
Was you getting high?
Marijuana's not a drug. Getting high encompasses a multitude of things.
You was smoking cigarettes, that's nigga activity.
Smoking cigarettes is just smoking cigarettes.
That's nigga activity.
Man, I sold crack and went home. I just told you. I didn't part out or nothing. I sold my crack and went home. No, I was at work. Look here. That's what I used to tell this girl I used to mess with all the time. She's about, what you doing? I'm on the clock. You always on the clock. Well, guess what? You can sit in this trap with me, or you can leave me the hell alone. Nigga, this is a place of business.
Stealing from KFC is nigga activity.
Stealing from KFC is criminal activity. All criminal. You can participate in nigga activities and not commit criminal acts.
You always trying to do something you're supposed to do.
I trusted you.
No, you already used the bathroom. Sit down.
He said, "Oh, when they paraded him and mocked him in the garments." Yes, that's just when they put the purple. That's why they put the purple robe on him. This is part of why they put. That's why they put the purple robe on him. Read it again for me, sir.
He's saying, when Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white, and with a great crown of gold, and with a garment of fine linen and purple, and the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad.
The Jews
had light and gladness and joy and honor. And in every province and every city, wheresoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews.
They became what?
Jews.
They became what?
Jews.
They became what?
Jews.
Oh my God.
For the fear of the Jews fell upon them.
And that man just said these people want to charge this nigga $119 to vacuum some carpet. My God, today. Where we was at before?
Cleaning expensive.
Nah, man, that house that we had got to do, we vacuumed the carpet, but you know, we got a regular vacuum cleaner. Them people had so much trash in that doggone on that floor, man. That junk almost broke the vacuum cleaner. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. You know, there's certain stuff you can't put no regular vacuum. You got to have a commercial vacuum cleaner. It ain't too many people got a commercial vacuum cleaner. I had a commercial vacuum cleaner when we first started, and somebody carpet broke that. You got bolts and pennies and all that type of stuff, man. That's not gonna tear your whole doggone vacuum cleaner up. Shoot, I sweat before I vacuum and after. And still ain't get all that stuff these niggas had in that carpet, man. So they supposed to be steam cleaning the carpet, and they want to charge him $120 to vacuum the carpet.
That's fair, bro. He wanted to look like normal.
No, they want to vacuum. Not they were just supposed to. They saying because they have to vacuum the carpet, they want to charge another $120. No, he had a renter in there. Shoot, they getting a lot of things back. Them niggas stole the washer and dryer, the patio furniture. Hell, them niggas left a car in the yard with no tire. Just 3 tires, just left it. Yeah. What you gonna do? That's why some people don't be wanting to rent their houses. Go ahead. Where we at with it? He just asked me, did they smoke? Nigga, how? No, I ain't live with them. He said that's one of the reasons why you don't believe in carpeting in the house. I believe, hey, and I think I'd tell him, you might pull that carpet up, put you some LVP, and let that be that. It don't matter. He want me to pull the carpet. That's another $1,500. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, go and pay that $120.
I like to pull carpet. That's easy money. Shoot, just did it yesterday. $1 square foot, baby. Really 50 cents because you got to pull that underlaying too. Like, if it's 1,500 square feet of carpet in there, you're really pulling up 3,000.
You gotta get the tax up too.
That too, because the underlayment up under that. So as much square footage it is for carpet, that underlayment right up under that is really double. But you know, most people ain't gonna pay $3,000 to pull up no carpet if you say $2 a square foot. Depending on where you at, you can. It's $1.34 to $2.34 a square foot. They be getting mad at me when I say pull up flooring. I need $1. They lucky I ain't went up. I've been charging $1 since 2017. You know, that seems pretty high. Shoot, it ain't high enough. You want nigga to pull it all up and throw it away, don't you? Drop that bread, nigga, and shut your mouth.
I need half of front.
Oh Lord, this nigga want to talk. Hold on, y'all. Yeah. Hello. Yes, sir. What's going on?
Ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's like a lady on my door, Turtle Creek. It's a lady on Turtle Creek. It's new school and old school.
I'm not banana peel type of guy, so I just look at it.
Well, how much he finna charge you to clean it?
I know you need all types of stuff from all squares of life.
It's amazing. It's amazing, bro. It changes everything.
I don't even need bananas, brother. I don't need a cream. I put it in smoke.
I ain't seen no like big old stains. With
I'm
them.
just sitting there.
Most too.
But she's selling out the car.
Yes, sir.
She be at a work spot sometimes. She'll meet up.
Lord. Yes, sir. Yeah.
She said 100. 100.
That's what I think. Put your feet over there. Both of them. I already told you how to put your sit up, Carl.
Pretty much understand what she said. Talking about put that into the house. What's going on? House of God. The things that needs to be in the house of God.
I knew that was there, so whatever he came with, I'll put it in there with that.
There you go.
Back. And then what he was saying, all the civilization, it's still it's like Philistines took what they did with that. They put it in there with their God. It is just destroyed. Only we did. Come on,
Oh, Lord.
only we did.
We know all the
So
others.
you know Nebuchadnezzar took the mark and put it right in with all the other idols. We dominated them people gods. We dominated them gods. We dominated. So he was like, "Yeah, I'll take y'all trophy."
Well, that's if it's like that, man. You might just want to just go to LVP and then you won't have to worry about it.
Same thing with Greece. Even the Maccabees, they didn't have to say
I mean, my smell ain't the great with cigarettes, so I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't notice the cigarette smell, but if they were smoking in there, you're not gonna be able to get the smoke out. Plus, if you just take the carpet out and just go with LVP, then you never have to worry about it.
That's how you know what they were doing there.
It's cold. Why would you think
What's the I'm for sure. It might not be long. Way bigger. Look at that. I'm scared that jump around.
I look at everybody.
So, if you want to hold all Jason Trust, I gotta finish something I was doing. I can, or if he can do it, take videos of the carpet and send it to you. Then it's style.
You could have asked me. You could have asked me.
I do.
Sit down, so.
All right, cool. All right, that'll work. Let me get back to what I was on. Bro. We could just let me know when you get there Monday. I'll be
At
there.
the ark. So
That's all shoot. One thing I know, boy, you in the house. Sloan, brother Marcus, you in the house smoking cigarettes, boy. It's over with. You heard that, little Johnny? Stop smoking them Lucky Strike. He said that's what keep me lucky. Come on, where we at? Not Marlboro. Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's what he's trying to do is get the smell out the carpet. So I get why people do upstairs carpet. Yeah, a lot of houses, they don't even put carpet in. I know this house ain't got carpet. There'll only be carpet in the bedrooms. Yeah, it only be carpet in the bedrooms. Come on, my G. Where we at with it?
It was holding.
Hmm?
Just read Esther 8.
Yeah, Esther. Where was that before Esther 8?
Hebrews 1.
Okay, we good with that. That's what I was reading this here before brother called me that.
Did you answer the question already?
Not yet. We'll get around to it. Oh, that's right. We were talking about cult images. Cult images in a temple may undergo a daily routine of being washed, dressed, and having food left with them. Processions outside the temple on special feast days are often a feature. Religious images cover a wide range of all types of images made with a religious purpose, subject, or connection. In many contexts, cult image specifically means the most important image in a temple, kept in an inner space as opposed to what may be many other images decorating the temple. And then they got some idols of Shiva here. One of the earliest known idols worshipped by humans from Jericho. That looks like a pot. Sangye, a reproduction of Athena. A heathen altar for Hasbulat in Sweden. The term idol is an image or representation of a god as an object of worship, while idolatry is the worship of an idol as though it were God. Yeah, they say buddy smoke. I can't smell cigarette smoke like that. I can't smell a lot of things. So if I smell something, that junk stink. You know what I'm talking about? Or it's strong. No, I'm for real. He done been in the house with him like, I don't be smelling that stuff, man. Them like put on a mask. That junk ain't bothering me. Cause shoot, I can't breathe with the mask on. You know what I'm saying? Need one of them junks with the vents on the respirator, cause I can't breathe with the mask on.
Yeah, that's all right.
You know
We
what
just
I'm
talking
saying?
about like $50, $60.
Yeah, I can't breathe with the mask on. You know what I'm saying? Now we done been in some houses like, boy, you're gonna have to put a mask on, boy. You ain't gonna make it. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't finna survive in here. But now he gonna want to probably pull that carpet up. And that's why I told you might well just go and put some LVP down, man. Because the whole house carpet. The living room, the whole house, the dining room, whole house. Them niggas look like they was smoking. Because he definitely had a dirty looking white woman out there with him. Look at Buddy coming here. You're still going strong. I admire that. See, I hate a condescending douchebag. See, them niggas get hit in the mouth with a baseball bat. You ever seen a man get hit with a baseball bat? I have. It was unfortunate. Come on back to Jeremiah 10, verse 3. Now that we've established what a cult image is and why Yahuah did not want you to make any images. Remember, because this is what you got to keep this important. Keep this in mind now. You say Nissan tried to sell you a car that smelled like a nicotine cafe. I said it had been detailed and still smelled like whoever. I'm gonna tell you something. Cigarette smoke is hard to get out your house. That junk get in your walls. That junk get in your furniture. That junk is in your clothes. That junk get in the floor. Like I know, buddy, not exaggerating. Like if you smoke in the house, I don't care if it's crack. I don't care if it's marijuana. You know what I'm saying? But cigarettes especially, man, that junk get in the paint, cuz. Man, if somebody smokes cigarettes enough, that junk turn the walls yellow. That junk turn the walls yellow. Yeah.
I said, turn your lungs black.
Yeah, if you ever go in somebody's house who smoke cigarettes for real, bro, they walls be yellow. That nicotine done stain the walls. Everything in the house smell like smoke. He say buy an ozone generator to get the smell of cigarette smoke. He said he bought a Yukon from a bad smoker. Well, I'll let bro know that. An ozone generator. I appreciate that, Oz. Man, Oz, you had me like this here. Oz was talking about some of that. He made me want to mention the harvest feast because he was talking about that earlier. He was talking about the harvest, the goddesses of the harvest feast earlier today on his show. Definitely, like we might as well drop some of them on here while we talking about it. Go ahead, y'all.
Say, for the customs of the people, vain.
Vain.
For one cut a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
And it speak not.
They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not.
They must needs
be born.
Go ahead.
Because they cannot go.
Be not afraid of them.
For they cannot do evil, neither also.
This is literally talking about a cult image. This is not a Christmas tree. This is a cult image. Go ahead.
For they cannot do evil, neither also in them to do good. For as much as none like unto you, O Yahuah, you are great, and your name is great in might.
Go ahead.
Who would not fear you, O King of nations, for to do it appertain for as much as among all the wise of the nations and in their kingdoms, none like unto you. For they are altogether brutish and foolish, to stock a doctrine of vanities. Silver spread in the plates is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Uphaz, the work of the workmen and of the hands of the founder. Blue and purple their clothing, they are all the work of cunning. But Yahuah, the true Alahym.
He's the true what?
Alahym. He is the living Alahym and an everlasting king. At his wrath, the earth shall tremble, and the nation shall not be able to abide.
Now I want you to come over here to Deuteronomy 30 and 15, because we want to look at the contrast. We looked at the beast and his idol, how he would try to make it live, and how that would be, and Shalom, Dave, in contrast to Psalms 115 of saying that an idol doesn't live. Now we just read in Deuteronomy 7 about how the idol is a cursed thing. You know what I'm saying? So think about that. Let's read.
Say, see, I have set before you this day life and good, and death and evil. And that I command you this day to love Yahuah your Alahym, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that you may live and multiply, and Yahuah your Alahym shall baruch you in the land where you go to possess it. But if your heart turn away, so that you will not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I denounce unto you this day that you shall surely perish.
Now notice he said, I set before you what? Life and what? Death. So you look at Yahuah, he say he the true God, the what? The living God. He's life. What is this idol? It's a curse, so that means it's what? Then he said, I set before you blessed and cursed. If you bring an idol in your house, what have you brought? Death. See, when people tell you Yahushua is an idol, how is that possible? Read me Revelation 1 and 14 when he says this. Yahushua is not a carved image. I also wanted to show you the contrary. The reason why I wanted to mention the harvest feast that I mentioned and the licentious feast is to show you the contrast of their feast and Yahuwah's feast. What they do at their feast and what you do at Yahuwah's feast. See, like we read about one, right, with men. These niggas butt booty naked climbing up poles. You ain't doing that at Yahuwah. That ain't no pole. This nigga's naked on a pole. But it's crazy because they're worshiping a God who walk around with an erect phallus, with his hand in the air. He did care. He wanted you to see him in all his esteem. No. Men was the one I talked about last night. Yeah. Men is the one who has his hand in the air with an erect phallus. His left hand is in the air, his right hand is down, and he is ready to grumble. Where we at with
Revelation 1 and 14.
Listen what he say.
His head and hairs white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
Listen.
And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp two-edged sword, and his countenance as the sun shined in his strength. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead, and he laid his right hand upon me.
What he told?
Saying unto me, fear not, I am the first and the last.
I'm the who?
First and the
we
last.
Just read that in Isaiah where it said he was the first and the last.
I am he that lived.
I'm he that what?
That lives.
Idols don't live.
and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore.
Idols don't live.
Amen, and have the keys of hell and of death.
Idols definitely don't have the keys of hell and death, do it. But you know where this come from, where you get the keys from. He got the key of David. Come on.
Write the things which you have seen, and the things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter.
Give me Colossians 3:1, man. Go to verse 5, though. Dave said that came to mind. Let's look at that letter, man. See what it say. Aside joy. Now you know you out of pocket. You got your leg cocked up, your dress all over. What you got going on, baby?
Look.
He said, for you are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach and Alahym. When Hamashiach, who is our life, shall appear, when shall you also appear with him in esteem? Mortify your members, therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. For which things sake the wrath of Alahym come on the children of disobedience.
Stop that verse 5. He kept on going. That boy, that hardcore in the paint. He done got married and got beside himself. No, not for real. But listen. Notice that he said covetousness, which is idolatry.
Yeah. Sit down.
Think about that. Think about that in your mind. About setting your affections on high where Mashiach be risen. Now you have some people, they don't believe that Mashiach is risen. You understand? So you're going to have a problem with that. But let me read about these licentious feasts. And then I want you to go to Leviticus 23, Civic. First, I'm going to read to you about a Bacchus feast. You know about Bacchus, right? You like Bacchus, don't you? You like to bop that thing up, huh? You like that song. Song, come on. You like this here, got to hit the dance floor. That's what every woman say. That's a Bacchus dance. Not for real. I don't know.
It was a long intro to give women a chance to stop what
That's terrible. September 3rd was the date of Bacchanalia, the feast of Bacchus. Although this god has several other feast days dedicated to him, some of which fell on March 16th or 17th, October 23rd, and November 24th. So guess what that would be around at what time? Which would be basically a Roman harvest feast. Now, that's not to say that for Thanksgiving that people run around here and drop it like it's hot. It's just saying that that was connected with that time period. I say, Ozzy was talking about this earlier, and we've discussed this in the past. Every culture of people have a harvest feast. You have to realize that every culture of people were agricultural in nature, based off of how society was set up at that particular time. I mean, at the end of the day, Passover, Pentecost, and Tabernacles are harvest feasts. You waving your first fruits during Passover, ain't you? Ain't that what you're supposed to do? You got to wave the sheep. Oh, you forgot about that?
I just thought I was during Pentecost.
No, you do it during unleavened bread also.
And you count the 49 days.
Yeah, you count the 7 Sabbaths from the day you came out and waved the sheep. Pentecost is first fruit. Tabernacles is in gathering.
Because on the 50th day, that's when you offer up the sheep and the fruit.
Two different things. It's different level of what you call it.
It's a different harvest.
Yeah, for each one.
Your fruit come in late.
Yeah,
For first fruit is later.
you know what I'm saying? That's your summer fruit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what Pentecost for. You know, you got your winter crops that you offering during unleavened bread. And then tabernacles is just all the crops, period. Because you probably ain't finna be growing too much for the next 5 to 6 months. You know what I'm talking about? So you're gathering it all into the barn. As he said in Malachi, so there might be some meat in my house. You know what I'm saying? Might have some food in here. Help you get through the times. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless. Yeah, it's been a while since we talked about that, but yeah, it's different. You know that nigga farm. Doris, you be out there farming? Hell no, you ain't gonna get your nails dirty. You need to get some oil on your hands. You need to get some oil on your hands. Help that man change a car filter. I ain't say if you know how to do it. I say you need to get up under there and help him with it. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure you love that man. You're going to get up under that car. That's right. You do that man right, get up under that car, change that oil filter. You ain't getting up under that? You ain't getting up under that. She ain't getting up.
I'm gonna get all the cheese and leave them out there for you.
What you gonna call the people for if he hand you the wrench, you ain't getting up under that? It's not insurance. We talking about changing oil. You gonna hold the oil pan? You gonna change the calipers? You don't even know what a caliper is. Damn. You gonna change the rotors? What a rotor is? Okay. How you don't know what a caliper is?
I know the rotor.
Yeah, it's right there. Shoot, you might need to take the caliper off if the rotor's bad enough. Shoot, they might be bad too. I can see Nisha out there like this here changing brake pads. They say we don't only change regular pads, we change brake pads. I couldn't help myself. That joke was there. I had to take it. That wasn't enough for you. That would have been for anybody. I had to use it. I couldn't let that one go. I'm sorry. Pray for me. This boy like he never flipped the house before.
He was walking through it, huh?
How much the floor? Get a quote for the flooring. It depends on what type of flooring you want. The labor is the labor. You don't want to buy the paint. You don't want to buy the flooring. You're gonna pay for it either way. If I buy it, you're still paying for it. And I'm gonna put some tax on it. If the flooring was $1,000, you're paying $1,500. It's only right. Is it wrong? It's only right. Nah, man. If you gotta buy the materials, bro, you gotta put a couple extra. At that point, you just broke even.
Gotta pay some reimbursement.
You gotta put at least a couple hundred on there. You know what I'm saying? Look at John. Like, yeah, I charge them extra every time I buy cleaning supplies. Shoot.
Charge you for my gas.
Say change. Eric say go ahead and change the starter while you're down there. He's saying go ahead and get the alternator too. See if we're gonna have Michael out there changing catalytic converters. They gonna be like this here out the washroom. Like, well, shoot, nigga, we can steal them. Run racket. Niggas be stealing niggas catalytic converters. That was wild to me. Oh, let me get these old freaky feats, man. You know, Bacchus was the god of wine and revelry and ecstasy and freedom and intoxication. He was also known as who? Dionysus. Remember we talked about this during the Olympics when all the white people got upset when they showed that scene with them people. That was a Bacchus feast. That was not the Last Supper. Yeah, the people came out and told you it was the Last Supper, but they just told you that because they didn't want you looking into the fact that they wanted you to know that they like big fat trannies and all type of other stuff. Because at a Bacchus feast, there were no inhibitions. No, that was for Saturnalia. That was for what it became Christmas. But that's not to say that they didn't bump booty holes at a Bacchus feast, because they did. Oh, they just got this painting. I don't care about this painting. Here we go. Bacchanalia. It was unofficial and privately funded popular Roman festival of Bacchus based on various aesthetic elements of the Greek Dionysia. They were also almost most certainly associated with Rome's native cult of Liber and probably arrived in Rome itself around 200 BC. Like all mystery religions of the ancient world, very little is known of their rites. They seem to have been very popular and well organized throughout the central and southern Italian peninsula. Some 200 years after the event offers a scandalized and extremely colorful account of Bacchanalia with frenzied rites and sexually violent initiations. Well, that means they were around here raping them. My God, today. Of both sexes. All ages and all social classes. Man, they had little kids in there, man. Golly. He represents the cult of a murderous instrument of conspiracy against the state. Livy claims that 7,000 cult leaders and followers were arrested and most were executed. Livy believed that Bacchanalia scandal to be one of the several indications of Rome's inexorable moral decay. A modern scholar takes a skeptical approach at Livy's allegations. The cult was not banned. Senatorial legislation to reform Bacchanalia in 186 BC attempted to control their size, organizations, and priesthoods under the threat of death penalty. How can it be exaggerated if you got your government threatening a death penalty for whatever these people got going on? But it's exaggerated. Where would there be need to threaten a death penalty if these things aren't happening? That's what they were doing at the fraternity house. Bacchanalia rites. That's what they were doing at Frenzy. Get you a drink and some pills. I'll give you a thrill. My God, today. This may have been motivated less by the kind of lurid dramatic rumors that Livy described by the Senate's administration to assert its civil, moral, and religious authority over Rome and its allies after the prolonged social, political, and military crisis of the Second Punic War. The reformed Bacchanalia rites may have been merged with the Libralia festival. Bacchus, Liber, and Dionysus became virtually interchangeable from the late Republican era, 133 BC and onward. And their mystery cults persisted well into the Principate of the Roman imperial area. He is the Greco-Roman god of wine, freedom, intoxication, and ecstasy. All of these things were in strict privacy, and initiates were bound to secrecy. Little is known of its cults and rites, derived from Greek and Roman literature, plays, statuary, and paintings. I'm trying to skip a lot of things versus reading everything. So, of course, you know, it was an ancient Masonic source. Yes, all ages was definitely crazy. Dang, Kiki said, I was talking to a dude. He told me I was taking my car to get an oil change. He suggested I do it myself to save money. I almost suggested he go to Sheol. I guess she looked for him to offer to do it. Say, I'll show you how to do it. Yeah, that is tough. That definitely sounds just like the frats and sororities. I was thinking the same thing. And Mason halls. Well, shoot, that's all the same thing. Let me find this other thing with licentious feasts. Hold on, we got 10 kinky sexual practices of ancient Babylon. Oh. You talking about Cat Williams? Oh yeah, he a warlock. Y'all seen the Cat Williams GQ article? That nigga a warlock. If you ain't think he was a warlock before, if you ain't think he was down with them white folks before, you damn sure know it now. I know everybody was like, he's a vanguard for truth. He ain't got to say nothing. Not with that chain on. No, he in the GQ article. This nigga got a warlock outfit on. Yeah, he might have put niggas out there, but they might have told him go ahead and talk about Steve. Go ahead and talk about such and such. Stir up a little controversy. That don't mean that he done went in there and played, booty tag with them boys, but he down with the same white people they down with. Because ain't no grown man dressing up like no warlock on purpose.
Yeah, they literally buy.
The man who opened. Look at this nigga.
Open the portal.
Opened the portal.
And they say you buy your studio.
What's the wizard name? Everybody know. In the no.
Somebody in the universe.
No, from Britain. British white dude. I ain't talking about. I'm talking about a real person.
Definitely.
Merlin. That's it. Merlin. Man, y'all niggas need to read more.
He's not that interesting.
Mickey Mouse.
Merlin is a wizard and the central character in the Arthurian legend, often depicted as a powerful, shape-shifting, and wise advisor to King Arthur. He was part of King Arthur's court. That's why I say everybody, you don't know about King Arthur's court? Oh my God, today. He was said to inherited magical abilities from demons, including the ability to predict the future. He was a shadow, untamable figure who eludes definition, with origins and fate that remain mysterious. He's portrayed in many different ways as a swindler in a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court by Mark Twain. He's likely based on a combination of historical and legendary figures, including Midron Willett, Ambrosius Aurelius, and possibly a local pagan god. That boy say, what portal? He sounds like he's the Lord of the Gap. My God, today. Oh, I thought y'all were familiar with King Arthur's court. Yeah, Merlin the Wizard.
I thought that was fake. That ain't the nigga pull the sword out the stone. That ain't the same thing.
King Arthur.
Right, I know that. I ain't know about no wizard. I thought that was fake.
No, he wasn't a real person. He wasn't a real person.
Yeah, you said a real person.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I just want to make sure everybody on the same page. That's not real. You said a real person, bro.
I said no.
I know King Arthur's fake. I just know that.
But that's where chivalry come from. That's why when people talk about, oh, chivalry is dead, that's when you tell them I'm not a part of King Arthur's court. That's where chivalry come from. That's a knight thing. I've never been a part of King Arthur's court. Why am I practicing chivalry? I'm not British. You know what I'm talking about? I'm a black man. They were talking about that last night. Boy, the man had me dying laughing. They said, I ain't from Africa. F them niggas. No, he was saying that because his people told him that they were Indians. You know what I'm saying? So, especially like a lot of people from Louisiana, you know, they got different backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't talk about this before, man. All of us ain't come over here on a lot of y'all people ain't come over here on no boat. And I ain't even talking about my people was already here conversation. A lot of people been, because some of the niggas, your people was here.
I did my research.
No, yeah, so, you know, man. Everybody, man. A lot of look here, man.
I was never invited to no.
You say I was never invited to any man.
Amen.
Because my people didn't come over here from Africa. My people came over here from Scotland. On my mama's side. Yeah, I haven't been able to verify on my daddy's side, though. They seem to came from Scotland as well. But I know for certain that my mama people did not come over here on no boat. Yeah, see, boot mama people ain't come over here on no boat neither.
I found out this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I would recommend a lot of y'all look into that. You'll be shocked what you find. Remember what's that dude name? Henry Louis Gates. When he found out his ancestry wasn't what he thought it was, and what the man is with the dude named when Kevin Hart was like, damn.
Oh, that black dude.
You know the actor, man. His name was escaping me. I can see his face. Don Cheadle, when he found out his lineage wasn't what he thought it was. Yeah, no, it wasn't what he thought it was. Yeah, I know Henry Louis Gates thought he had Indian in his blood, and he found out that it wasn't. I think Henry Louis Gates found out his people owned slaves. If I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? But don't quote me on that. But I know with my people though, on the Bonton side, they ain't come over here on the boat. You know what I'm saying? I don't know on the Duncan side with my grandma. But my granddaddy people, they ain't come over here on no boat.
What's up, man?
And I'd be willing to wager my daddy people ain't come over here on no boat either. I'd be willing to wager a lot of y'all to find out a lot of y'all ain't come over here on no boat. And some of you niggas people might have owned slaves.
So who was the lender?
What's that?
On my mother's side,
Mm-hmm.
but when Britain came through with Muhammad and all that, that's how we got my money.
Yeah, I was gonna say that don't mean that you see the, and I'm mentioning this here because of the teaching of Deuteronomy 28:68. So they're basically saying if you didn't come over here on a boat, you ain't an Israelite and all this other stuff, man. And that's just not the case. Man, he say, buddy say he want his money up front. How you want your money up front? You ain't cleaned the car yet.
Here's the cause.
I ain't paying him. I ain't paying no nigga ask me for his money up front. All of it? Hell no. I'm talking about. Shoot, it could be shoot Red Tuesday, nigga. You ain't getting nothing from me, boy. Indeed, Hebrew do mean you know, nomad. People been scattered. It's just the fact of is that man, if you came from the 10 tribes, man, they didn't come over here on no boat. The people been gone. The people never came back. When Assyria took them out of there, they never came back to the land. They may have migrated back maybe after the period of Babylon when there was open season that you could come back to the land of Yasharal by Cyrus's decree. But as far as in mass, them people didn't come back. They didn't come back. That's not what happened. And I'm going to tell you to look into this here, man, because a lot of people don't want to deal with that. She said most black people from the South either got European or Indian or a mixture. She said I was talking to my mom last night about her Indian auntie.
Yeah. To your point, the reason why a lot of people are looking into it because some was already bought on the narrative they was taught us in school. Because when they taught us in school, I didn't take the initiative to research slavery.
No doubt. I mean, why would you?
Yeah.
It may not being in the South, most people talk about, they got Indian in their family. Some niggas just be talking, but a lot of niggas do though. Some niggas just say they got Indian in their family just to say it.
I agree. My mom used to tell me that.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people who from the South initially, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? A lot of you may come from indigenous people, but every Indian is not necessarily your people on top of that. So let that be known. There's different type of Indians. All of them ain't your people. I ain't saying that to be disparaging. I'm just saying that just like every person who has dark skin is not necessarily your people. Every person that is quote unquote Native American or indigenous does not necessarily mean that they're your people. That's not necessary. You say you changed your PTR to my maternal grandmother. She definitely looked native to the land. Yeah, man. A lot of us ain't come over here on no boat, man. Yeah, a lot of us ain't come over here on no boat. Oh, Sean got his maternal grandmother on here now. Oh yeah, she definitely don't look like she came over on no boat.
They made the boat. They sent you on the boat.
No, I mean you'll be surprised, man. We can't. I'm being serious, right? Dead serious, right? If we say the Dark Ages, right, was our people ruling Europe, and that's only maybe 150 to maybe 300 years max before slaves were quote unquote brought over here to America. Then how did all them black folks get over here? Because they weren't slaves. You don't have any slave trafficking coming from the European Isles. I mean, I'm being dead serious. You just pause for a moment. You look at all these black folks that have Irish, British, and Scottish last names. You know what I'm talking about? But all the people who was over here, they weren't Irish and Scottish. They were straight Anglo-Saxon Brits. You know what an Anglo-Saxon is?
It's all the same.
Anglo-Saxon. No, she just confused. But yeah, man. A lot of us do because you think our last name is French, it's Scottish. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a lot of our people ain't. Nah, man. Your people ain't come over here on no boat, cuz. I know it sounds good to get you to be tied to. See, we the Israelites. See, slave ships. See, that's what everybody. That's the recruiting tool. because every black person in America can relate to slave ships.
I thought that was men or something like that.
It do point to some other things, but I'm just talking about the pitch.
Don't Deuteronomy 28 tie with Zedekiah instead of
Not necessarily. Depends on who you talk to. Depends on who you talk. Because they didn't go, let's say it's going to look at, do you look at it them going literally into Egypt or Egypt representing bondage?
Yeah, I was saying that because when he said, I'm going to set your king over you, they're going to be in captivity. That happened with Zedekiah. We went up.
So you look at, yeah, I mean, I heard that just depends. Read Deuteronomy 28:6-8. See around here scrolling, looking at machines.
Right?
What you say?
Machines and killers.
So what does that mean? Because like they say, like if your last name is Scottish, your ancestry is.
It's possible.
Okay.
I mean, we're talking about the Dark Ages. You talk about the Dark Ages, it said that black people ruled Europe. That's why they called it the Dark Ages. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't really want to acknowledge the fact that most of the prime and known historical figures of ancient Europe at that time were black. So the kings, the courts, all of that. So if all of these people were black, there's no way possible that they were slaves when they made their way over here. Because the time period of them ruling is right about the beginning of the transatlantic and sub-Saharan slave trade. And you're not going to convince me. But there's nothing to convince because there's no historical proof that there was a mass enslaving of colored people from Europe. So at that point, you're going to have to tell me that everybody in Europe migrated to Africa to get thrown on a boat. And that didn't happen. So there's that. Deuteronomy 28:16.
And Yahuah shall bring you into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto you. You shall see it no more again, and you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy.
Nobody's going to buy. Tell them what ships is. We talk about this, how this pertains to Mashiach, but I don't have time to do that today.
That's only that's a ship, men of ships, seamen.
Seamen. Seamen. So wayfarers. Woo, wayfaring men. You know what I'm saying? Voyagers, if you would. Now, when you look at this here, men with ships, you can look at this as that this may not necessarily literally be referring to men being taken by ship, but being carried away by other men. You know what I'm saying? Because there would be no need for them to go to Egypt again with ships because there was no body of water to stop them from getting there. They could have walked there. They could have. It is, but it's also talking about men of ships or just simply seamen or men. You know what I'm saying? So you can look at it in the context of being carried away from ships. Also in context, it can be referred to being carried away of men. You know what I'm saying? So some things you have to look at it. And this is why you have to look at certain things context-wise in the text. And then, okay, historically in that area, is there a body of water that would necessitate them being placed on a boat and taken to Egypt? Or placed on a boat or taken to Syria, or placed on a boat and taken to Babylon. There's no body of water that would necessitate that happening. You know what I'm saying? But we know as forth as physically, they were taken into these places by men. So then when you look at it, okay, you coming to America, you could have been brought over here by men, but not necessarily by ship. You know what I'm saying? But you also could have been brought over here by men in ships at the same token. My point is that a lot of us, you come, remember also by definition, a lot of times when you see the word captivity, it means exile. So it doesn't always necessarily mean some type of accosting. So if you say you in captivity, you exiled or you separated from the land, you separated from God. He also said, get it for me, Ezekiel 5:1. Remember, and I'm doing this for informational purposes. Where is Ezekiel at when he prophesied? Where is he located? In Babylon. Now, is this before or after King Cyrus's decree? So that means they've already been taken out of the land because he left during the time of Zechariah. That means he's in the midst of the 70 years that Yahuah said by the prophet Jeremiah that they would be in Babylon. So that means Ezekiel is testifying of Israel going into captivity again while they're in captivity. You know what I'm saying? This is just context-wise, so you understand what you're looking at. Ezekiel 5:1.
And you, son of man, take you a sharp knife, take you a barber's razor, and cause to pass upon your head and upon your beard. Then take you balances to weigh and divide. You shall burn with fire a third part in the midst of the city. When the days of the siege are fulfilled, you shall take a third part, smite about it with a knife.
You're going to do a third part, do what with it?
Smite about it with a knife.
Come on.
The third part shall you scatter in the wind, and I will draw out a sword after them.
Oh, draw out a sword. Come on.
You shall also take thereof a few in number and bind them in your skirts. Then take of them again and cast them into the midst of the fire and burn them in the fire.
Therefore,
shall a fire come forth into all the houses of Yasharal.
Thus saith Yahuah Alahym.
This is Jerusalem. I have set it in the midst of the nations
and the countries
that are round about.
She have changed my
judgments into wickedness more than the nations, and my statutes more than the countries round about her. But they have refused my judgments and my statutes. They have not walked in them.
Drop down to verse 11.
Wherefore I live, saith Yahuah Alahym, surely because you have defiled my sanctuary with all your detestable things, with all your abominations, therefore will I also diminish. Neither shall my eyes spare, neither will I have any pity.
A third part
of you shall die with the pestilence
and with the
famine,
and shall be consumed
in the midst of you.
And a third part
shall fall by the sword round about you.
And I will scatter a third part
into all the winds.
And I will draw out a what?
Sword after them.
See that? So this man telling you, hey, some of y'all gonna die by famine. Some of y'all gonna be consumed by the sword, and the rest of you, some of you gonna fall by pestilence, and the rest of you I'm gonna scatter. He didn't say necessarily that somebody was going to accost you. He just telling you, I'm finna get you from out of here. So is this about 70 AD? Yeah. Because they were already in captivity. And we have to remember, according to the prophet Daniel, the only reason why Yahuah raised up Cyrus to tell them to go back is because he had already spoken by the prophet Daniel that they had to go back for the purposes of the Mashiach. For him to perform his work, he had to perform it in Jerusalem, in the land, at the rebuilt house. Yeah. And that's why immediately after that was accomplished, y'all got to get out of here. Because I'm done with you. Because people forgetting he meant what he said what he meant. That's why he said the city will be rebuilt for Mashiach. That's why Daniel says that specifically. This is and it goes to Ezekiel 36. He said, I do not do this for your sake. I do this for my name's sake. Let that be known. See, that's one thing that Israel, when they boast, it's our kingdom. Nah, boy, you ain't got no room to say none of that. When this man said, I ain't do this for you, I did this for me. You just get to get the benefit off the mercy and love and kindness that is me. But I didn't do this for your sake. He said, you need to be ashamed. I did this for me. You know why you need to be ashamed? Because you open your feet to everybody who passed by, and him it was. He said, you not like a person who turned their back. You took other lovers instead of your husband. That's why idolatry is that serious to him. The same way you would feel if you came home and found a penis in your wife bigger than yours, that's how Yahuah feel when he seen you worshiping other gods. I done came home and found my wife in the bed with another dude. You know what I'm talking about? That's offensive. And you think he supposed to love you after? That's why Israel just don't understand. Because these dudes right now go off and say, if my wife cheat on me, I'm done with her. You cheated on your husband. I'm talking about all the time, too. All the time. With no regard. With none. No thought, cares, or concerns. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get that for him. Because we're talking about idolatry. We can expand idolatry all the way around. We've been talking about little children. Keep yourselves from idols. Go to Jeremiah 3, man. Give him verse 7, man. Listen what it should. You give verse 1. It ain't hurt nobody. That man said, if a woman leave her husband and go be with another man, shall she come back to her husband? Will not the land be unclean? Man, that man would be defiled taking us back. That's why he said he had to die. That's why Romans 7 say what it say. He said, if you be married to another, you'd be called an adulteress. That's why the man had to die and rise again. That man man, y'all don't understand. This man couldn't be married back to you. High priest can't marry no whore. Husband can't take his wife back after she done been with another man. And these dudes be running their mouth. They don't even know the law. Yahuah can't fool with us. And they going to tell you Yahushua is an idol. I ought to find a real idol and bust you upside the head with it. Because you stupid as hell. You goddamn fool. You don't know what an idol is. That is literally a cult image. Literally. You gotta, that's why we read what a cult image is. How can Yahushua be a cult image? He was born of a woman. There's no image made of him, at least that he stamped. See that doggone touchdown Jesus at Notre Dame, that damn Jesus in Rio de Janeiro, that ain't even him anyway. That's explicitly against the word. He told you not to do that. Yahushua was just literally God. His fourth is a ruler, a power. All power is given into his hand by God. How can somebody who is God give all the power of God to a man and that man not be God? That's dumb. You know what I'm talking about? That's not taken away from any. You can't take away from the person who gave it because I'm giving it. That means it's my desire to give it. So you acknowledging him as this is not taken away from me because I wanted him to have it. Period. That's just the same token as if you gave everything to your son. Does that take away from you being his father if you gave everything to your son? No. No. That means I wanted my son to be ruler over my realm because I had the power to give it to him. Meaning, if I got the power to give it to him, I got the power to take it back. That means, of course, he's not above me, but he's equal to me because he's my son. I don't look at my son and say, you beneath me, boy. That's what pussy niggas do. That's just why these dudes is always arguing about this stuff because they hate their own son. Because any man who got a son gonna look at his son and say, this is straight love manifested through flesh and bone. When I see your face, I see my face. You are me, and you and everything that I am, I'm giving it to you. Because you my son. They don't understand when the law say, man, you the beginning of my strength, the excellency of my might, my firstborn. You everything that I am. I'm gonna give everything I got to you. I want you to have it. If I tell my son, come sit in the throne, how he taken away from me because I told my son, sit in the throne and rule my land? Everybody, and I come out there and tell everybody answer to my son. Everybody answer to him. What he say, go. Whoever don't bow the knee to him, I will require it of you. That's what Pharaoh said about Joseph. Does Joseph having all that authority take away from Pharaoh being Pharaoh? He told Joseph, only in throne and power am I greater than you. That's the only thing the Father is greater than the Son in. Throne and power. Everything else, they're equal. That's why Paul wrote, don't think it robbery for him to make himself equal with Alahym, because the law tell you this. That's right, Arthur. That's what I'm talking about right now. It's the same thing. It's in their law, and these niggas argue about this every day. You know how many rooms I done showed dudes that about that? Like, you know this, he said that about Joseph, right? You know he said, Joseph, sit here in the second chariot, right? You know he said, at your word, my land will be ruled, right? You know he said, every knee gonna bow to Joseph, right? And then you telling me that, not Jesus, that's not, you stupid. When we know culturally that Pharaoh was considered to be God to the Egyptians, which is why he killed Pharaoh last. When he killed Pharaoh's sons, he was killing what? The sons of God. That's what he was doing. He was showing Pharaoh, you ain't got no power to stop me from killing your sons. Your representation of God dies tonight. So you can see who the true God is, because you couldn't even save your son. You couldn't even save your son. I saved mine, though. That's why he called Israel his firstborn and made that delineation. Niggas arguing about that. He was trying to let him know, I'm going to kill your firstborn, but you can't touch mine. That's it. So you can know who the true God is, the living God is. See how you make that separate? This is why we talk about, this is how you know all this stuff, idols, man. You don't get caught up in this stuff, man. It's junk weak. You know what I'm saying? It's weak. Pharaoh couldn't even defend himself. And then how Yahuah take it a step further after he killed the son of God, aka Pharaoh's sons getting killed, is the same as the beast getting killed on the back end. He drowned Pharaoh in the sea, killed their God. Same way he gonna drown Satan in the lake and kill their God. Because he ain't even got no power to win. The same thing. He ain't got no power to win. And when you understand this thing, then you can easily see, okay, Yahushua is God. That's why they say, let this mind be in you, the same mind that was in Yahushua HaMashiach, who thought it not robbery to make himself equal with Alahym, who made himself of no reputation. He didn't boast that he was Alahym, but he's not taking nothing from his father because his father wanted him to have it. We literally read Revelation 2, which is Psalms 1, when he say, ask of me, and I'll give you the healing. He said, today you are my son. This day have I begotten you. He said, son, ask of me. I give you the healing for your inheritance. I give you this. I give you that. Son, it's nothing. Take it. He didn't even say, he said, ask me for it, son. I'll give it to you. See, a real nigga, he want to give something to his son. His firstborn son, especially he look at his face and he see his own face. Son, everything I got is yours. Ain't that what the prodigal son daddy told him? He say, son, everything I got yours. He said, you ain't never did that for me. He said, son, you always with me, baby. Everything I got is yours, but your brother was an idiot, and now he done came home. We got to rejoice, baby. I know you steady. Baby, everything I got is yours. See, I ain't never was worried about you. Your brother, that's another conversation. Yeah, we celebrated that. I always knew your brother was stupid. I never had to worry about you. That's why everything I got was yours. That's why I ain't give your brother everything. He said, I gave you your portion. I ain't have to worry about you spending it on harlots. Because that's what he said the prodigal son did. He went out there and spent it on temple prostitutes. Yeah. Went out there in the world, spent it on prostitutes. The book tell you, man, he that spend his substance on harlots gonna come back poor. But the God told you stop tricking. That's what your God told you to do. Don't be no trick. Don't pay well. Your God told you, man, you better, keep them pockets locked. Boy, what you tricking on that woman for? What he told you was, is to rejoice with the wife of your youth. Now, that's a different conversation. They ain't ready for that type of game, man. Niggas say, I would always hear my grandma Cherokee, not Creek, not anything else. That's funny, though. You talk to most black folks, say everybody a Cherokee, nobody a Seminole. Black, you know what I'm saying? You say you Blackfoot? Yeah, Mama Steph said her people Choctaw. It just be funny because that's what everybody say. Cherokee. That just be funny to me. Everybody a Cherokee. Nobody don't know no other tribe. But no, man, you'd be surprised though. A lot more of our people are definitely. I was gonna say his mother's side Seminole. A lot of our people are definitely. You got more links to indigenous people than you would think you would. Probably that too. But then sometimes some niggas just be repeating stuff because somebody in the family lied. See, you got good hair, baby, because we're Indian. You got good hair because you took care of it. Or you got white in your blood. But most of the time your hair good because you took care of it. Your hair ain't gonna be no good, you don't take care of it. It's gonna be brittle and rough. Try to comb it, gonna catch fire. No, your hair ain't no good as if you comb it and it be falling out. I mean, your hair weak. That ain't good hair. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about good hair like people be talking about because it's straight. I'm talking about good hair because it's strong. It's healthy. It look good. Don't look like it's about to die. You don't look like you got a Brillo pad on your head. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about because it's curly or kinky. I would something other than saying nappy. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm talking about you can look at some people's hair like that nigga hair look dry. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That boy his hair look like it's thirsty. I'm talking about he needs some milk. You know what I'm saying? You can tell when people take care of their hair. Look at Johnny sleep. Stab him with your own black. He over there sleep like an old man too. What you tired for? You ain't do nothing.
never can see you.
You
right
glasses, that nigga dozed off like an old man.
Ankles touch.
Where them kids at? Where the kids been going for an hour? I'm like, where them kids at? At their mama house. See, he telling you to stay up.
Don't worry about all that.
Don't worry about all that. Come on with it, man. Where we at with it?
Jeremiah 3:1.
Come on with it. Listen what he said.
They say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him and become another man, shall he not return unto her again?
That's tough.
Shall not the land be greatly polluted? But you have played the harlot with many lovers. Yet return again to me, saith Yahuah.
Turn again to me.
Lift up your eyes unto the high places and see where you have not been lying with.
Whoa.
In the ways have you sat for them as the Arabian in the wilderness, and you have polluted the land with your whoredoms and with your wickedness. Therefore the showers have been withholden, and there have been no latter rain, and you had a whore's forehead. You refused to be ashamed.
One thing about a whore ain't got no shame. And a whore ain't got no repentance. And I told you a long time ago, a whore, you ain't got to sleep with a bunch of women. I mean, a bunch of men. Hell, women too. Yeah, that's what you're into. You ain't got to sleep around to be no whore. A whore is not about what you necessarily do with your loins. It's about your mindset. Whores are ostentatious, incorrigible, rebellious individuals. You know what I'm talking about? That's what makes you a whore. Being rebellious and hard-headed. You can be, I told you for years, Beyonce married to one man. Now, I don't know what they do in them freaky sex rituals they be doing. I don't know nothing about that because I ain't there. You know what I'm talking about? We can't say we ain't there. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But what we do know is she's married to one man. But that woman is a whore. You know what I'm saying? Because she teaches whoredom. And most of her songs are not about sleeping around either. But she teaches whoredom because she teaches rebellion and stubbornness to a certain level of authority. That's what makes, I told y'all that for years, that's what makes her whore. I don't think I've ever heard a Beyonce song where she's singing about being like promiscuous. But she definitely sings about whoredom. Now, she might be one of the only people, I think she might have had one song where she had but I think everybody knew that was a freaky song. Whatever that doggone, the waterboard, whatever she had. That was obvious. Now, of course, some people felt like that Halo song she was singing about the devil, but, you know, when you look at Halo is not even a scriptural thing. The book doesn't even talk about angels having halos. So, halos is really the rings of Saturn. So she possibly could have been singing about Saturn. And as I mentioned Saturn, I hate stupid niggas that say if you keep the Sabbath, you worshiping Saturday as it's Saturn because that's Saturn's day, as if we name the days of the week. Now, of course, y'all know that all the days and names of the week are named after these people gods. I'm trying to think of the ones I can remember off the top of my head. You know, Monday is Moon's Day. Of course, you know, Thursday is for Thor. Yeah, Moon's Day. They kind of same thing.
It's tomato.
The same thing.
I thought Tuesday was Mars.
But we can look it up. But that we ain't talking about Spanish, sir.
Spanish and white.
No, they're not.
Spanish niggas, Shabbat. Saturday, not Saturday. In Spanish, Shabbat is Sabbath.
Definitely is.
So, incorrect. Spanish is
we going political. You wrong.
Okay, Sunday is named. Listen, hold on. Here we go. Sunday is named after the son from the Old English, son of Dog. Monday is named after the moon for the Old English, Moon's Day. Tuesday is named after the Germanic god of war, Tiw. Wednesday is named after Woden, the supreme creator among the Norse gods. Thursday is named after Thor, the Norse god of thunder. Friday is named after Frigga, the Norse goddess of marital love in the earth. I did find a list of other Norse goddesses, by the way. Saturday is named after Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture. The days of the week are named after the gods and objects that were considered worthy of veneration by the Anglo-Saxons. Yeah, some of the months, I think some of the months are named after men. Say, Mama, Sheila done failed. Shut up. Oh, you ain't never watched Half Baked, that's all. Say, Mama, this Samson. Okay, Janus is for January. There's no direct God association name for February. It is named after the purification festival, Februa. March is named for Mars. There's no direct God association, possibly linked to the Etruscan goddess Apru. May not have a specific god associated with it. June is named after the god Juno, or named after Juno. That is not a god, that is a Roman. July is named for Julius Caesar, and August is named for Augustus Caesar. My God, today. September literally means the 7th month. October literally means the 8th month. November literally means the 9th month. And December literally means the 10th month. The original Roman year had 10 months from Martis to December. 2 other months were unnamed, reversed for the dead of winter when there was not much happening in agriculture. Later, Numum Pompeius, the Roman king of circa 700 BC, added 2 months, Anuaris and Februaris, and made them the beginning of the year, moving Martis to 3rd place, hence the names of Quintilis, Sextilis, September, October, November, December. That's how people look at, I got you, Ozzy. That's how people look at the feast days by saying, you know, you can tell the date from this time of year because those months correlate to those numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, like, that's just what it is. Like, September is literally the 7th month.
Yeah.
Because remember, if we look in the land and you look at the land, the type of climate that it has, you know, winter would have not been in full swing when trumpets, tabernacles, and atonement come in. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's hard for brothers when they read John 10 and they say it was winter in the Feast of Dedication and they think cold because it's only 2 seasons, summer and winter, in the law. There's no such thing as spring and fall. Those are I don't want to say pagan. Those are human constructs for the purposes of their worship of the sun and agricultural and harvest feasts. So that's what they're really for. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, man dealt with the equinoxes and Yahuah did not. So that's why you have these 4 seasons, because they're all tied to the equinoxes. You know what I'm saying? But Yahuah was 6 and 6. 6 months summer, 6 months winter. And then it's not 365 days in his year, it's 360. You know what I'm saying? Some will tell you it's 364, but that's looking at Enoch. When you look in your law, it say 360. 30 times 12. I appreciate you, Emma. You know, these and this why, yes. Lee, I ain't forgot about you either. I'm gonna get to that before we get off this. Huh? Oh, those days come from their sun worship because they're on a solar calendar. So they're on when you get it on a lunar calendar, it's 354 days. That's because of solar. Because some people say, you know, Israelites did counted days by it doesn't say that they did that. You know what I'm saying? Because a true lunar month is 29 and a half days. You know what I'm talking about? So when you go by a lunar calendar, you don't have 365, you don't have 364, you got 354. And on a lunar calendar, you'll have a time period where you have 13 months. And that's not in the book either.
I remember Solomon, he had 12 officers.
He had 12 officers for each month of the year. That is in 1 Kings chapter 4, by the way. Get it for him. 1 Kings 4. Because I remember showing Triad this here, man, when they were having their conversations about this damn near 10 years ago. Because, you know, most Israelites can't agree on the counting of time. I'm not finna sit and argue with nobody about how you count no feast day. I have greater concerns than that. 1 Kings 4 and 1, good sir. Hold on, let me read this here. Let me read what Mom said. Hold on, let me read what Mom said. Put in. August, originally the 6th month, called Sextilis, but the name was later changed in honor of the first Roman emperor Augustus, because of several fortunate events of his life occurred during this month. Only a few names of the month were derived from Roman deities. Most simply came from the numbers of the month, or in this case, 2 Roman emperors. Proceed, good sir, my apologies.
So King Solomon was king over all Yasharal, and these the princes which he had: Azariah the son of Zadok the priest, Elahoreph and Ahiah the sons of Shisha scribes, Jehoshaphat the son of Ahilud the recorder, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada over the host, and Zadok and Abiathar the priests. And Azariah the son of Nathan was over the officers, and Zabud the son of Nathan was principal officer and the king's friend. And Ahishar was over the household, and Adoniram was the son of Abda over the tribute. And Solomon had 12 officers over all Yasharal, which provided victuals for the king and his household, each man his month in a year made provision.
Each man in his month in a year. That's it. That's it. 12 months, man. Simple as that. No more, no less. See, the advent of counting time by the moon is a Babylonian construct. I don't know if even the ancient Israelites actually counted days by the moon, or was this co-opted by the Jewish converts, and then everybody else just went to doing it and just accepted it as common practice. The same way that they go outside and look for the new moon. When you don't read nowhere in the book, nobody going outside looking for a new moon, and Israelites will tell you, well, the month ain't started because we ain't seen the moon. So what, time just stopped? So we just in a holding pattern. So if you ain't seen the moon for 3 days, what happened to them 3 days? Did they just get lost in the wind somewhere? Is it 33 days in that month? Like, what are we talking about? Like, some stuff is supposed to be common sense. That man ain't never told nobody go outside and see if you see the moon. They always like to go to 1 Samuel 20 with David them. They didn't go outside and say, I can see the crescent in the sky. The new moon is in. They just knew it was a new month. You know why? Because that word new moon there ain't got the word for moon in it.
The Israelites said I was sinning for I don't keep new moon. I told you.
Yeah. They did.
They said we sinning because we don't keep new moon.
There's no law that mandates you have to observe the new moon. It's not a commandment. You know what they did on new moon? They feasted. See, they go to that Ezekiel when they say from new moon to new moon, but that means from month to month, Shabbat to Shabbat, or week to week. That's trumpets.
The songs be like blow the trumpet.
That's trumpets.
Okay.
That's for memorial blowing the trumpet. Read it for them. Psalms 81.
Sorry, verse 1.
Yeah.
It says, sing aloud unto our Alahym, our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the Alahym of Jacob. Take a psalm and bring here the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn
Pause
feast
for
day.
the time who?
For the time appointed.
And on solemn who?
Feast day.
Come on, man. It's telling you when that is, blood. When's the time appointed? What time appointed is, man? Tell them what that is, man.
That's Kaseh, a full moon.
I think Joanne in there crying. You know what I'm saying? This is trumpets. Trumpets is on the first day of the 7th month. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that anybody is wrong for if they gather on the first of the month. But to condemn somebody for it is retarded. Because again, when he tell you that in Isaiah 66, he say from new moon to new moon, from Shabbat to Shabbat, they'll come up and worship Yahuah of hosts. That means from month to month, week to week. Month to month, because it's Kadash. That's new. That's month to month, week to week. The word for moon is your rock. And when you look at new moon, your rock is never used. It's never used. Let's read about these kinky niggas in Babylon. No, let me read about the licentious feast, because then we'll get away from, because we were supposed to talk about Mr. Lester Crowley and his freakiness. No, they go to the doggone coat image thing. Let me get this on. So again, licentious idolatry is a combination of licentiousness and idolatry. Again, licentiousness is a work of flesh that includes sexual immorality, impurity, and lustful pleasures. And idolatry is the worship of someone or something other than Alahym, which is considered the most heinous offense against the law. Visible signs of idolatry or licentious idolatry is pageants, parades, revelries, obscene, orgies, wealth, fashion, and luxury. Now, in this modern time, what are some type of holidays or revelries, I should say, that would let you know that this is licentious idolatry? In this modern time. Who? Oh, no.
You said
licentious revelries. Again, it says the sign of them are revelries, obscene orgies, parades, and pageants.
You don't think orgies will take place in February?
No, keep in mind, he said, listen. Oh, not freak me, pageants and parades. Mama Steph say raids. You want to know a sign of licentious idolatry? Mardi Gras. Carnival.
I thought you were talking about like Thanksgiving and Halloween.
No. He said, what are the signs of licentious idolatry? Pageants, parades, things of that nature. Like Mardi Gras is a sign of, because Mardi Gras is based off Fat Tuesday. You know what Fat Tuesday is, don't you? You don't know what Fat Tuesday is. What's Fat Tuesday then?
It's a place, but it was a day of something.
They don't know what Fat Tuesday is. I know Mama Steph know what Fat Tuesday is. It's the day you ate all the food. No, not Miss America. Fat Tuesday is when Mardi Gras is. Fat Tuesday is in March of next year. It's definitely bigger than a restaurant chain. If they have parades and pageants. Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, also known as Shrove Tuesday, is the final day of Carnival, also known as Shrovetide or Fastival. It thus falls on the day before the beginning of Lent on Ash Wednesday. Mardi Gras is French for Fat Tuesday, reflecting the practice of the last night of consuming fat, rich, fatty foods in preparation for the Christian fasting season of Lent. Now, what do y'all know about Lent? No, that's Ash Wednesday. Well, that's the beginning of it. But no, what does Lent represent? We've talked about this before. That's the 40 days for weeping for Tammuz. Who is Tammuz? And Tammuz is mentioned in the text about the women weeping for Tammuz. Who's doing all that screaming? I don't know what's wrong with Ruth. Give me Ezekiel 8 and 11. She need a who? She need more than that. That's right. Where they show their titties for beads.
Yeah, that's my brother.
That's Fat Tuesday. Fat Tuesday and Mardi Gras is the same.
Didn't they have some with the Springer bead? James Springer beads?
Well, yeah, he got it from Fat Tuesday. So a titty get a bead. My God, today. I mean, she was showing all her titties. Ain't nobody buying no beads at Mardi Gras. That's areola exposure.
Nah, I hope so, because she was already 60.
One thing about it, you pull titties when you're old, you pulled them when you was young.
No, my dad.
Come on, Ezekiel 8 and what? What I say? Ezekiel 8 and 11.
It's saying there stood before them 70 men of the ancients, the house of Yasharal, and in the midst of them stood Jazaniah, the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then said he unto me, Son of man, have you seen what the ancients of the house of Yasharal do?
What are they doing?
Every man in the chamber of his imagery. For they say, Yahuah see us not. Yahuah have forsaken the earth.
Yahuah's done what?
Forsaken the earth.
What else?
He said also unto me, turn you yet again. You shall see greater abominations that they do.
Greater. Hey, whoa. He trying to read. Hey. Y'all too loud. He trying to talk over y'all. Go ahead.
He said unto me, turn you yet again, and you shall see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of Yahuah's house, which toward the north, and behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz.
Weeping for who?
Tammuz.
Weeping for Tammuz. Who is Tammuz? Drumzit. And I'm going to read the article that Mama Steph just put in here. Drumzit, known to the Sumerians as Drumzit the shepherd, is an ancient Mesopotamian and Lebanonite deity associated with agriculture and shepherds, which is also the first and primary consort of the goddess Inanna, later known as Ishtar. In Sumerian mythology, Dumazit's sister was Geshtiana, the goddess of agriculture, fertility, and dream interpretation. In the Sumerian kings list, Dumazit is listed as an antediluvian king of the city of Bad Tabira, and is also an early king of the city of Uruk. He abode in heaven for half the year, and Ker for the other half. Ker is the bottommost part of the cosmos. His siblings is Geshtaana, Ashla-Emma. His consort is Inanna. His Greek equivalent is Adonis, and East Semitic and Lebanonite, he is known as Tammuz. What is weeping for Tammuz? You ever weep for Tammuz? Well, if you ever participated in Lent, you weep for Tammuz. Thank you, Emma. Weeping for Tammuz is an ancient Sumerian ritual that commemorates the death of the seasonal fertility. The ritual involves women mourning for the death of Tammuz, the Sumerian fertility god associated with vegetation and sheep herding. Fat Tuesday and Wednesday's Lent. While the 40-day period are common in Scripture, searching the Scriptures diligently from the Old and the New, you will find that there is no mention of Israelites observing an annual period of 40 days of abstinence from certain foods and vices preceding the Feast of Passover. Most of the Christian Catholic world observes a 40-day period of Lent. Most of y'all have never did Lent because you're not Catholic, which immediately follows the festival of Fat Tuesday, called Mardi Gras, or the festival of Lupercalia. No. They're not talking about concerts. They're talking about literal festivals and parades. Mardi Gras is a parade. No, Carnival is because these, you got to understand something. It's not just random acts. You know what I'm saying? It is something that is directly associated with the god, and then the lust that is perpetuated there is in direct reference to that god. Now, most of you know about the festival of Lupercalia, but the festival of Lupercalia, festival of Lupercalia and Mardi Gras are around the same time. You don't know about the festival of Lupercalia? Oh, you know about the festival of Lupercalia. It was y'all favorite holiday, probably. That is the festival of Lupercalia. She said that Mama Steph said they did it in Rome and the priests participated. Let niggas bust all up their back. You know the one in the Range Rover with the boy.
There's another holiday that's called the Burning Man. They do it in Vegas. It's a deity they representing out there. You ever heard of that? The Burning Man?
I have not. I'm gonna give y'all some background information on the festival of Lupercalia. Lupercalia, a violent, sexually charged, and bloody pagan festival celebrated in ancient Rome on February 15th. to promote fertility, health, and purification. Do you notice that there's violence? What type of stuff are they doing to each other? Booty hole. Yeah. At puffy parties. Absolutely.
Like violence.
Indeed. As Mama Steph is stating and reiterated, and as Mika, these festivals did not originate in America. These are Roman activities or Celtic activities. Yes, you remember Christmas was outlawed in America in the early 1800s. Say the Burning Man reference, you've seen it on Bourgeois on Netflix. We can look that up also.
Somebody said the Burning Man too?
Yeah, Mika just mentioned that. It's reference on Netflix.
Hey.
Who ringing the doorbell? Hey, what y'all getting up for? Ain't nobody sitting for you. Sit down. Unless somebody called for you by name, there was no need for you to move. The festival took place in the Lupercal Cave on Palatine Hill and in Comerton, an open-air public meeting place. The festival began with animal sacrifice. The festival began with animal sacrifices, including a dog and male goats, in the Lupercal Cave. After a feast, priests would run from Palatine Hill to the Roman Forum, whipping people with strips of animal hide. Young men were painted with the blood of the sacrifice, and young women were whipped to encourage fertility. Spank them.
What that's supposed to do, make them?
I don't know. Scramble or eggs, I guess. The festival was named after Lupercus, the Roman fertility god, and the Lupercal Cave, where Romulus and Remus were said to be raised by a she-wolf. The festival was also known as Februa, after the strips of the animal hide used for whipping, which inspired the name of the month of February. Lupercalia was celebrated for centuries, but was outlawed in the 5th century by Pope Gelasius. Some historians believe that Valentine's Day has its roots in Lupercalia, but the evidence is tenuous. Valentine's Day originated as a feast day for a Christian martyr. But yet, it's all about love and hunching. How does a Christian martyr get to Cupid, which is another Roman god, candy and freakiness? How does that happen? How does that happen? But it ain't got nothing. But yeah, that's what Lupercalia was about, man. Not beat a Harpo. You sent Harpo to beat me. Can you imagine how freaky you is for somebody to whoop you with goat hide? You understand how freaky you got to be? Come spank me with some dog back. No. Uber driver, your account is ready to be activated. You lied to me.
They want you back, man. They said, don't forget your first love.
They lied to me. Whoa.
Hey, that's the title.
My God, today. Hold on, let's look at the Burning Man. You like to, you don't want to be a Burning Man. That means you got something from the wrong thing. Yeah, you say he burning. The Burning Man Festival is a week-long, large-scale desert event focused on community, art, and self-expression, self-reliance, held annually in the western United States. The event's names come from the culminating ceremony, the symbolic burning of a large wooden effigy referred to as the man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got it right here. That occurs on the penultimate night, the Saturday evening before Labor Day, which is funny because Labor Day falls in around when the Bacchus Festival is. Since 1990, the event has been at Black Rock City in northwestern Nevada, a temporary city erected in Black Rock Desert, northwest of Reno. But we need to find some ancient stuff for that. Yeah, but Carnival is in line with Mardi Gras and Lent. That's around the same thing. You know, that's a festive season that takes place in many Roman Catholic countries that lead up to Lent. That's why Carnival and Mardi Gras are around the same time. Because that's dealing with Tammuz. All that's dealing with Tammuz. You out here weeping for Tammuz, trying to rub on some booty. These are licentious feasts, abominable idolatries. It says Celtic and Roman on the Burning Man. Freaky behind nigga there. 69 God. My God today. Now again, called Mardi Gras or the Festival of Lupercalia, and precedes the Festival of Easter Sunday. The celebration of Lent developed from the pagan celebration of Babylon's queen Semiramis, mourning 40 days over the death of Tammuz before his alleged resurrection. Another of Satan's mythical counterfeits. The word festival means flesh rising, and the lewd acts of Mardi Gras or Fat Tuesday is a testament to the flesh rising. Ash Wednesday was established as the first day of Lent by Pope St. Gregory the Great between 590 and 605 AD. Mardi Gras immediately follows Christmas and is a time of gross debauchery, when people get in all their sinning in preparation for the fasting for Lent. Hence the name Fat Tuesday. It began when Queen Ishtar's son Tammuz was killed by a wild boar. Queen Ishtar, also known as Semiramis, told the people that Tammuz was now ascended to his father Baal, also known as Nimrod, and that the two of them would be the worshipers of the sacred candle or lamp flame as Father, Son, and Spirit. Ishtar, who is now worshipped as the mother god and queen of heaven, continued to build her mystery religion. The queen told the worshipers that when Tammuz was killed by the wild pig, some of his blood fell on the stump of an evergreen tree, and the stump grew into a new tree overnight. This made the evergreen tree sacred by the blood of Tammuz. She also proclaimed a 40-day period of time of sorrow each year prior to the anniversary of the death of Tammuz. During this time, no meat was to be eaten. Worshippers were to meditate upon the sacred mysteries of Baal and Tammuz and make the sign of the cross in front of their hearts as they worship. They also ate sacred cakes marked with an X on the cross. That's why when you see people walk around with that cross on their forehead, that's for the weeping of Tammuz. And that is a pagan rite, if you would. You know what I'm talking about?
Damn, boy.
Yeah. And then, of course, the freaky stuff. This is where the evergreen tree come in for the Christmas tree. When they say how the blood dripped on the stump, and that's where that come in at. You know what I'm saying? See, Jeremiah 10 is used improperly for that because Jeremiah 10 is talking about something totally different.
You got me when it first came out, man.
What is this guy? Tammuz equals the son of Mary. Yeah, if your mama had it. Yeah. Now, don't worry about him. Because, see, we hate a smart, dumb nigga. Because we know that Tammuz is well before Yahushua was even born. You ain't talking to some people who can't read, you jackass. When we know Tammuz is Babylonian, and that's not even his original name, you big dummy. It's Drumazid, but you don't know that. Because you a fake spiritual intellectual. You're just a jackass with a Bible. A dummy with some information. An imbecile with a brain that clearly doesn't have enough neurons in it to properly function. Goddamn fool. Now let's continue. Hold on, brother, son, man, what it is, Mythic Society. Oh, I just seen that. I do not. Oh, the mobile Mardi Gras counter. I'll put that in the what's name. Wrong with this
So-called, it's a place called Fat Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a restaurant train.
Yeah,
That's why we put in it started
It's a restaurant train.
yeah, I just
about the Mobile City Society.
that's what they
Put it up, niggas underground donating to the whole festival. People got this wrong.
Now, let's look at some of these harvest feasts and different stuff, and we'll taper this on down. Now, listen, I wanted to, and I'll start this process, and it was something else I wanted to do. We'll hit this thing for Shalom, Sister Gwen, for Lee also. So when you look at the Feast of Yahuah, whether it's Passover, whether it's Pentecost, whether it's Atonement, Tabernacles, what do these feasts entail? Number one, it entails making portions for yourself, sending portions to those who are without, the reading of the book, and the worship of Yahuah. The book of Nehemiah shows you that in chapter 8 and 9 when you read about them observing tabernacles. 2 Chronicles 30, is that 2 Chronicles 30 or 1 Chronicles 30? With Hezekiah, with the reinstitution of Passover that they hadn't done in a while, shows you that. Yahushua, son of Nun, in chapter 5 shows you that when they came in the land and observed the Passover and they ate the fruit of the land and they didn't eat the manna anymore. So I'm mentioning the things that were contained with the observance of the Feast of Yahuah. What were obtained in them? They were a time of joy. They were not a time of revelry, if you would, and reckless abandon for behavior. It was a time for you to rest in Yahuah, to get an understanding of the word like you've seen in Nehemiah, to worship Yahuah, and then to feast unto Yahuah, and to also send portions to those who are without. Let's not leave that part out. Because remember, he told you to make sure that you brought your tenth on the 3 days that everyone was required for the Levite, the stranger, and the widow, so that they may also be able to eat and rejoice before Yahuah also. Now, when you look at these other civilizations, feast days and revelries, large amounts of debauchery is associated with them. You understand? We'll look at some of these harvest festivals, Lord willing, Wednesday. We'll come back and do it again. In Africa, some of them is you have Aricha, Aroke, Homowo, Nkwala, Timcharet. Asia, you have the Mid-Autumn Festival in China, which is the 8th full month according to the lunar calendar. Remember, the Chinese have their own calendar. Absolutely. Illicin in Taiwan, Cheshook in Korea. Some of these I can't, obviously, because I'm not Asian, so there's that. The Monty Feast, Pongao, and that was in this is in the Indian subcontinent. In Southeast Asia, excuse me. Flores de Mayo in the Philippines. Paco Giwai in Indonesia. In the Middle East, of course, you have Alvardoba in Georgia. Of course, you know Sukkot and Shavuot, or Tabernacles and Pentecost. In Europe, you have the Dag Vorgawas in the Netherlands. Doinsinki in Poland. Festa Igruit. Now, these are modern ones, but we're going to dig into the ancient ones, y'all willing, on Wednesday, because we have so many things to get. And in America, you know, you have the annual Harvest Festival. You have Thanksgiving, Old Home Week, so on and so forth. And we'll look at all the gods that attach to this, because we have so much information and not enough time. You know what I'm saying? Look at this man. Look at this man. Childish name calling, slander, bearing false witness, evil surmising equals intellectually defeated. I don't have to focus on people, only false doctrines, but all you focus on me. Nobody's focusing on you. You came in here talking. Nobody came looking for you, sir. You came over here talking about some World War III. Nigga, you must be scared you keep talking about it. Hell, it got to be World War, because you look like you stink. You know what I'm saying? You look like your breath stink, your butt stink, your mud, you're musty. You look like you don't wash your clothes properly. Nigga, do you got a wife? Do you got some children? Go love your wife and raise your kids, man. Talking about the niggas looking for you. Ain't nobody looking for you. Who looks for another man? Do you want men to look for you? Because at that point, I would surmise that you possibly have latent homosexual tendencies. Nobody looking for you, man. What's wrong with y'all? Why do y'all go around looking for arguments? Do you understand how sad that is as an adult? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. I appreciate y'all, man. I bless y'all, the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all. So we looked at a lot of things. We got even more to look. We have more sources and not enough time. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Because we got word, we got extra stuff that we looking at. But the main thing that I want everybody to draw away is the difference between Yahuah and these people's gods and festivals and the such. Knowing what a carved image actually is, knowing what a licentious idolatry actually is, and seeing the difference of how Yahuah is literally life and these idols are death because there is no life in them. You know what I'm saying? Amen, Mika. Amen. Now, most people can't rest on the Shabbat because they ain't got no rest, but he told you in Isaiah what the play was. Ain't no rest for the wicked. Nigga can't never get a good sleep at night. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on. Hey, come here, Sid. I forgot about this nigga here. How am I focused on you when you in my trap house? This nigga's a dickhead. You in my trap house. I ain't at your house. You at my house. Of course I'm gonna focus who come through my trap house. Nigga, why you even buy here? Who told you you don't buy this type of dope? Why are you here? 2 Kings, man, chapter 2. Let me get this for I'm glad you said that, Lee. I literally said it out loud so I wouldn't forget and still forgot. Check this out, man. We're gonna look at something with Elijah real quick. 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 1. Run it, my selector.
And it came to pass when Yahuah would take up Elijah unto Shamayim by a whirlwind, that Elijah went with Elisha from Gilgal. And Elijah said unto Elisha, tarry here, I pray you, for Yahuah have sent me to Bethel. And Elisha said unto him, as Yahuah lived, and as your soul lived, I will not leave you. So they went down to Bethel.
And the son of the prophets
that were at Bethel came forth to Elisha and said unto him, know you that Yahuah will take away your master from your head today? And he said, yea, I know.
Hold your peace.
And Elijah said unto him, Elisha, tarry here, I pray you, for Yahuah have sent me to Jericho.
And he said,
as Yahuah lived and as your soul lived,
I will not
leave you.
So they came
to Jericho.
And the sons of the prophets
that were at Jericho came to Elisha and said unto him, know you that Yahuah will take away your master from your head today? And he answered, yea, I know.
Come on.
Hold you your peace. And Elijah said unto him, tarry here, I pray you, for Yahuah have sent me.
Hey, taper it down. It ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't over.
For Yahuah has
Hold on. You know about that song, Teddy Jam? It ain't over. The party ain't over. You know about that? You from New York? How you don't know about Teddy Jam? You don't know about Guy? Teddy Riley? Aaron Hall Jam? Teddy Jam for me?
Jam for me.
He said it ain't over. The party ain't over. I thought you ain't like the beat. Go ahead.
And Elijah said unto him, tarry here, I pray you, for Yahuah have sent me to Jordan. And he said, as Yahuah lived and as your soul live, I will not leave you.
Peace, brother Omar.
And they too went on. And 50 men of the sons of the prophets went and stood to view afar off. And they stood too by Jordan. And Elijah took his mantle and wrapped together and smote the waters. And they were divided here and there, so that they two went over.
What verse you in right now?
Well, that was verse 8.
Come on down here to verse 9. Well, you keep on going. It ain't gonna change.
And it came to pass when they were going over that Elijah said,
listen what he's about to say.
Ask what I shall do for you before I be taken away from you. And Elisha said,
hey! Y'all need to be quiet. What are you talking for? Go ahead.
And Elisha said, I pray you, let a double portion of your ruach.
Let a double what?
A double portion of your ruach be upon me.
What else?
And he said, nevertheless, you have asked a hard thing. If you see me when I am taken away from you, it shall be so unto you.
If you see me when I'm what?
Taken away from you, taken from you, it shall be unto you.
Go ahead.
But if not, it shall not be. And it came to pass as they still went and talked, that behold, a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind in the Shamayim.
And Elisha saw it.
And he cried, my father, the chariot of Yasharal, and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more. And he took hold of his own clothes and rent them in two pieces. And he took up also the mantle of Elijah that fell from him, and went back and stood by the bank.
Drop to verse 15 and look at what they said. Thank you, Jamal.
And when the sons of the prophets which were to view at Jericho saw him, they said, the ruach of Elijah do rest on Elisha.
The ruach of who?
Of Elijah do rest on Elisha.
The ruach of who?
Of Elijah.
Now, see, a lot of people looking to see that's reincarnation. It just said that the spirit that was on Elijah is now on Elisha. Now, of course, if you recall, this is Psalm 68 and 18. He ascended into heaven and received gifts from men, which is Acts chapter 1. That they witnessed him going into heaven. They saw him go. He sent the Spirit down on them and they received it. So I remember when that first came to mind, I was on my way to the gym. That was like 2012. You know what I'm talking about? So when you see this here, this is a point to the giving of the Spirit on Pentecost. And for the disciple to have the Spirit of his master on him. Which is why he said everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. Because that's how the prophet saw Elisha at that particular time. They saw him as his master. Now she asked, is he still in heaven? If you remember when we looked at the transfiguration and who was there with him? Moses and Elijah. Now you remember what happened with Elijah in Malachi chapter 4? It says what? That Elijah would go before the great and dreadful day of Yahuah. So as forth as Elijah dwelling in Shamayim, it don't tell you that he dwelling in Shamayim, but that's a strong assertion that you can be able to make. Because he took him into Shamayim. Where else is he going? Now, whether he in the third Shamayim or the second Shamayim, Yahuah knows. I hope that did it for you, Lee. Let me know. Hey, Jamal.
That'd be the same for Enoch, too, right?
Yeah, say that Alahym took it. See, the difference with Enoch, it don't necessarily say he took it into heaven, but we can make a strong assertion that that is what occurred. Where else would he be? And for that to happen, that means he had to be changed from flesh and blood to flesh and bone. Meaning that the blood had to be, or in the instant, he was changed. Had to. There's no way they could dwell in that realm in the physical form as we are. Jigsaw, don't worry about that, Jigsaw. Let me know that if that satisfies the query, ladies. 10 for you up. He said, why y'all hate so-called Elijah? I know it's hard to keep Michael Smith out your mouth. Pause, brother. I speak on topics, not gossip. Lives, men, personal lives, and business you don't know about. Who does that? Your mama? But we appreciate y'all. We bless y'all at the house of Alahym in the name of Yahuah. Love y'all. Yahuah willing, we will be back at it on Wednesday. And until that time, Pete, man, thank you, Yahuah, brother Bob, man. All right, Clubhouse, I'm out of here.